Oh, I see how it is, Blind Mike. I take you out of the lawsuit and you don't cover me this week. The week the Duke retires. Well, fine. I'm sure you got some other group of morons to talk about this Sunday mornings. If you are a loser, make sure you go to blindmike.net to see what losers like. Also, check out Why Are You Laughing? And Who Are These Socials? And here is your host, a man who cannot hold the Duke's skirt. I'm not saying that I wear a skirt. Oh, never mind. Here is your host. If this is even his real name.
Blind Mike Geary!
Oh, it's good to be back. I didn't know if I'd come back after we failed to hit the goal, but I said, you know what, I just can't stay mad at these people forever. They've been too good to me, even though they were complete failures a couple weeks ago. They've been too good to me overall. So today what I'm doing, because I don't want to embarrass ourselves again, no goal. In fact, you're not allowed to super chat. All right? So don't even try it. God, do I dare you to try super chatting us. It won't be allowed. You understand, people? So no goal this week. Deal with it. I know everyone gets very hyped up about the goal, but what can I say? These are just the times we live in. It's a tougher economy. I decided to go easy on you people. So, Casey Day is with me. Hello, sir.
Hey-o, how you? No goal.
No goal, no Craig.
No goal. I'm not reading all that shit. My voice just came back. No goal.
Yeah, it was exhausting to beg for 5 hours.
I thought of an idea like a week later, and I'm like, why didn't I do a show that night and just keep the goal going on my
That is true, yeah. People were in a frenzy for the goal, so you should have.
I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. Yeah.
But no, here we are. No Craig. I think Craig is just given up on the show entirely, it seems.
No,
Your
listen.
thoughts?
My thoughts are there's only a few sunny days in that godforsaken area you guys live in, so he's got to get out there and try to get new tail. Like it's almost wedding season, Mike, and that means Craig's going to be locked down. There's not going to be any available women in that pouring rain and cold ass place you call home.
Craig hasn't gotten enough blame for this. So I was invited to Dabblecon 2. I was supposed to be originally I was supposed to be on the roast on Friday, which looked like a lot of fun. We'll get into that in a few minutes, but I don't know if I've told this part on air yet. So I said, because of the KMS road trip, I didn't know when we'd be back, because originally when Coleman was involved, we were supposed to make a lot of stops and stuff. So I didn't want to commit to being at Dabblecon if I wasn't going to be able to make it. Like, I didn't know when we'd be back. It's a 60-hour road trip. I didn't want to come home and get right back in the car that day to go another 12-hour drive round trip. So I told Carl ahead of time, I was like, I don't know that I'm going to be able to make it, so I'll say no for now. And then I hadn't mentioned that to Craig yet, and he goes, a couple weeks later, he goes, we still doing Dabblecon? And I said, as a matter of fact, no, I can't go because of the Dakota road trip. And Craig goes, good, because I couldn't make it that week anyways. So you're just going to let me, I don't know, buy a bus ticket or something to Rochester.
I would have flown in and gone with you, Mike.
I appreciate that, buddy.
Yeah, that's yeah. Let the man get his tail. He'll be back in the fall because I'm out in the fall. It's football season, baby. I got the Ducks to watch. So
damn it.
No, I'll be here. It's Sundays, but I will be very hungover every time.
Well, that's fine with me. I'm sure Craig is working with even.
I'll be hungover I'll be hungover on legal substances, unlike Craig.
Beautiful. No, Craig will be back at some point, I imagine. He'll stop playing hard to get with us. He did. He looked at the ages of the people at Dabblecon and said, "This is not my crowd. This is not for me."
Yeah, way too much hair and also way too bald. Ironically, at the same time.
I'm surprised we only got, I expected more of this, but we only got, that I saw, one comment like this from the Goal episode where a guy goes, this is how he starts it. He goes, I get that this is ironic and that everyone involved is in on the joke. That's how he starts. And he
Well,
goes,
this should end well. This should end well. Okay, go ahead.
but
Oh no.
so you're really just gonna keep the money and do what with it? We don't have a say over where the money goes. It's like, then give me your Venmo. I'll send it. I'll send whatever you donated.
No, I think he's bringing up a good point, Mike. I think that we should
crazy. Then don't donate. What do I give a fuck?
No, let's donate and then be able to control what you spend that money on. Oh, we would.
It's like if you subscribe to my Patreon and are like, a few months in, you're like, wait a second. Did he just keep the money for himself? Yeah, it's who you're sending it to, jackass.
How dare you give that money to your landlord, asshole?
No. So that's why this week, no super chats allowed, whether you like it or not. Don't even think of clicking on super chat because.
Well, good news, Mike. They're listening to you.
Good. Good. Just what I was hoping for.
Yeah.
But what you can do is go to blindmike.net, support the show for free, wherever you get podcasts, Apple, Spotify, right here on YouTube. Like, comment, share. All that's, I would say a lot of that stuff is as good as donating in some form or fashion because it helps grow the show, helps more people find the show, like-minded people, gets into your algorithm, and they say, hey, if he likes these things, maybe he'd also like the Blind Mike Project. So like, subscribe, comment, 5-star reviews wherever you get podcasts. And if you'd like, you can become a member on Patreon or YouTube. You get early access and bonus content. So consider doing that. Why Are You Laughing episodes are up right now. More going up hopefully this week, Craig permitting. But there will be more Why Are You Laughings for patrons in the future. And then it will be released. These episodes that we're backloading now will be released in the fall. So in September, Why Are You Laughing will be back. Very exciting.
That is exciting.
So blindmike.net for all your Blind Mike needs. And,
can you do Kids in the Hall this year?
Yeah, they're definitely on the list. That could be a good one.
Yeah, I think they're good. Canadians are underrepresented in comedy, I think.
There's I don't know about that. You got Norm, you got Jim Carrey.
See what I did there?
Oh, okay.
I'm making him talking about comedians.
Gotcha. All right. Go to Why Are You Laughing for this nonsense. All right, let's get to Dabblecon. I imagine some of you might even be at Dabblecon or watching this weekend. I could not make it, unfortunately, but I texted Carl that I was jealous. It seemed like a hell of a time. They pulled off the live stream. I thought very well, better than I expected. There didn't seem to be any glitching or anything like that. It all seemed very well done. I guess the one controversial thing is the porn bombing. Is that fair to say? How have people received that?
Well, I don't know if it's controversial because of who it happened to.
Right.
Everyone sort of despises who it happened to, so it's just kind of funny. But quick side note, you were one of the best punchlines in the Dr. Steve roast.
Yes, I agree.
Did you hear that?
Okay.
Yeah. So, no, that made me laugh because it was true, and also I know you. Hey, he said someone I know.
I messaged him and said that I was glad that no one told him I wouldn't be there. Because if you're watching it, presented as like, Blind Mike is here. No, I wasn't. But luckily, Dr. Steve made a video ahead of time. And which is funny because I told Carl I couldn't make it. And I was like, I can send a video if you want. And he scoffed at that. But I guess you have a big star like Dr. Steve and things change.
Yeah, we don't got time for your video. Blind
no.
Mike, sorry. That's
but no, I was Dr. Steve was he might have been the best of the night. Dr. Steve, which is rare. That's tough for a video, like a pre-submitted video. That's tough for that to be one of the better sets, but I think he pulled it off. He had a great Cumia joke, too, about people are mad that Anthony Cumia is still alive.
Can I ask you to maybe do that set and record it, and we'll just release it anyway? That would be... Come on, let's see you roast. That's like stand-up. I want to see you do stand-up. Okay,
maybe next year.
Yeah, let's do it. We're almost at 1,000 subs. Are we over 1,000 subs, members? Isn't that what you're going to do? Something exciting for your members?
Oh, we did hit. This is. I'll address this too because this came up on the road trip. Someone asked. What I remember is saying at 1,000 subs, we play the Richard Ojeda drinking game, which I do want to do. But also, people mentioned that I said live, like we would do a live show. I don't know if I said that or not, but if I did, it didn't work because. I remember at the time thinking about it and no one subscribed. So I don't think anyone that subscribed in that time is really yearning for a live show. Pretty much the only people that mentioned it were people that like want to call me out on something. But I do think we will do a live show for the final Quincy. I think that's my plan. We'll have other things involved as well. It won't just be Quincy related. But when we get to the final Quincy, which should be spring of 2025, I think, which is crazy. But I think that would be a good time to celebrate with the Gearheads. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, I think what we definitely do owe is the Richard Ojeda drinking game, which is very fun.
With Richard Ojeda. We're going to do it with him. He's already said yes.
Oh, he would do it?
Yeah. So yes, he was going to do something for the goal, but
I worry. I got to tell you though, I worry that might be less fun.
Oh yeah, I get your point there.
You know what I mean?
What if we just bring him on every once in a while to see how he thinks it's going?
That could be.
What do you think of the,
We'll talk about that.
Spot checking.
We'll brainstorm on that.
He's our Samantha Ponder, on the sideline.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Stay tuned for all that. But let's get into Dabblecon, shall we?
We shall.
So Friday night they porn bombed Kevin Brennan, which I will say. So I looked at Reddit, and again, I'm focusing on like one guy complaining, which you shouldn't do. But let's have a little fun with it. Some guys, like, people get so angry, and that's what I don't understand. Like, we make fun of people and make fun of podcasts all the time. That's what the show has become, basically. So I get making fun, but I think that's very important to focus on the words I'm saying. Making fun. Like, ultimately, and I always say this about Brendan Schaub and Tom Myers, like, we are fans of these guys in some twisted way. Like, I wouldn't want those guys to stop making content. Even Stuttering John, who I think is a scumbag. Like, there's part of me that wants him to just go away forever, but there's also part of me that would be very sad because I'm a fan of watching him. And I think we add commentary that is fun and funny, hopefully. And that's the point. What I never understand is people getting like fucking angry, like really pissed. Like, there's a guy on Reddit who was like, they owe me an apology. And it doesn't seem like he's joking. He's like, they owe me an apology. Hearing the N-word and getting porn bombed on my own television? What if my neighbors think I'm yelling the N-word? Which is such a crazy thing to have to type.
I support Biden. Now my neighbors think I don't.
It's like, I don't know. Watch this at a lower volume, I guess. I don't know what to tell you. I can see it being jarring and weird. I don't really understand getting mad at it, which it's, again, going back to the live show thing that I just said. It seemed like the only people complaining are people that wanted to have a problem with it. You know what I mean? And that's what I don't understand is like the anger. If you want to goof on the roast or, make fun of the sets or whatever, I say go to town. But like getting angry about it is very weird. And
well, YouTube's like the giant Yelp department. So when you do anything on YouTube, it's just all you get is the complaints. Good people just go on with their day. So.
But that's what's weird is I would assume those people would look at Yelp and be like, what an asshole. You know what I mean? Like, if you're looking at people on Yelp who are like, they didn't have enough fucking waters in my hotel room. This place should burn to the ground. I would assume you'd look at that and be like, what an asshole. But that's what you're doing for all these podcasts. You're not having fun with it or goofing on it. Like, you're actually getting angry, which is a weird reaction to me. And that leads us to Kevin Brennan and Chad Zumock, where they had no fun with it. And their job, like, they're comics. Their job is to make fun of this stuff if you're going to watch it. But I guess Kevin Brennan live streamed it, the roast, and got porn bombed. That's really why they were doing it. I think other people were live streaming it as well. But I think they were mainly doing it to fuck Kevin Brennan over, right?
So they had hooked up with a good pay-per-view place that actually had control of one stream. And so that place wants its part of the money, right? And so they're going to do what they can to block that. And it's a rather ingenious way to do that, knowing the terms of service on YouTube and the people that would be doing that on YouTube. Although there were streams still up after the porn bomb with 1,300 people watching. So
I mean, my logic is like I wouldn't have wanted to watch Kevin Brennan watching that because I think it really would have gotten in the way for the purposes that I'm watching for. And also, like, I think anyone that wants to watch it and support those guys was going to buy it anyways. Even if they watch Kevin's live stream or whoever's live stream. Like Carl offered me a password to just watch it for free, and I bought it because I was like, no, I'm supporting these guys. Like, what's the point of me, stealing it essentially? So I think most people that want to support it still would have. So I don't think you have to go out of your way to porn bomb Kevin or anything. Like, I thought it was kind of funny that they did it. It didn't affect that's again, I keep going back. And again, I know it's one guy, but his Reddit post was so long and so angry. And he was like, it ruined the entire experience for me. And I was like, he goes, it happened the entire time. And this is always my favorite. You can tell they're lying. He goes, it happened so often that I had to stop watching. And then they still didn't stop doing it. It's like, but you just said you stopped watching. How do you know they didn't stop doing it? It got like, I noticed it. It stood out, but I didn't think it stepped on a ton of the jokes for me. Like, I missed maybe 2 of Cardiff's jokes. That's really all I felt like I missed from them doing that.
Right, and you're part of the Dabbleverse. You enjoy the Dabbleverse is the weird and gross things that the Dabbleverse that you love, and then oh my god, a Dabbleverse things happens. I don't like this. What? That's exactly what you're here for, isn't it? That's
the other thing is people being
emblematic.
People being like, I don't understand why they used that clip. It's like, oh well, then you weren't really into this then.
It's almost art if you think about it. It's like part of the show.
Right.
This is the Dabbleverse. This isn't some highfalutin thing. You get on here, you pay your $30, you see a girl shitting. That's what you do in the Dabbleverse.
and people can never do that like what I'm doing, where it's like, I don't think they needed to do that. Also, it's not the end of the world that they did.
No.
People can't do that online for some reason. But
I thought it was just the segment break. Hey.
So we don't have Kevin's actual reaction to it, do we? I have not seen that yet.
No, that's disappeared from the planet.
That's disappointing. Did he freak out? Do we know how he reacted to it?
No, he gets quiet. So just in past things, like how it's been described is that he just gets quiet and he just starts clicking around because he's a boomer.
That's probably the smart way to play it, though, rather than John, who would have had a classic reaction.
Jump backwards 10 feet. Yes, that's it's like he's never seen a naked body before. Yes, that's a weird reaction from a grown adult.
So let's listen to, I'm sorry, it's not Chad Zoom, it's Kevin Brennan and Carlos Danger in this clip, right?
Yeah, and Chad Zoom, the Mud Sharks.
Okay. I like Carlos Danger. I don't think he's a big fan of mine, but
he was on your show. He was on your show.
He was. I don't know what happened. I like him, but I don't think he's a big fan of mine for some reason.
Well, I can tell you this, that I know that he had a show at the time that he was on your show, and he no longer does it because I guess of work stuff. So he just kind of disappeared altogether pretty much and just comes around from Kevin Brennan. I don't think he specifically has anything against you. On the other hand, hate this man. All right, let's go. But he never gave me the Dabbleverse award, and now he goes around and tells everyone that I asked for the Dabbleverse. Yes, I asked for it, dickhead. I said
you asked for it
in a joking satire manner on Twitter in front of everyone.
Oh, God, that's more embarrassing than all of the things Craig has done. You know, all of the terrible things. Say what you want about Craig at Coney, he would never do that.
Fuck you.
It's. The roast is too long already. Mike Morris, literally, I had to skip ahead 5 times, and he was still talking. I'm like,
so he's lying there, right?
Yeah.
The roast is live.
Yeah, the roast is live through this whole part.
Are you time traveling, Kevin? How did you do that?
The guests are very confused by his live.
Oh, how long did they tell him to do? And again, I paid for it, so I can probably watch it when I'm done here. It's insanity. People are snoring.
It's insane that it was too long. Every roast is too long. The Tom Brady roast will be considered the comedy event of the year if they give out such an award at the end of the year. That was definitely too long. That would be my one complaint about the Brady roast. It was probably too long. And that's why Comedy Central always edited those things down, because in general, they're too long. But you don't know that till it's over. People are trying jokes out for the first time, essentially. My takeaway from it was, the guys that are not comics, I thought did the best. Actually, Anthony Zenhauer was great. I thought he was very good. But aside from him, I thought the best of the night were Carl. You know what? I'd go as far as to say Carl was the best. No reason I'm saying that. I thought he was aces, number one. Cardiff, Tukey. Trying to think of who really. Oh, and Dr. Steve.
Yeah, Dr. Steve killed.
Like the guys who aren't comics were probably my favorite sets of the night. That to me is impressive. These guys don't do that for a living. And if you watched it, it seemed more or less like a roast. Now, again, going back to where you can't just be like, I didn't love this part. Like Tukey's Jake Hudson thing, I just don't get. I don't know the guy, and he spent a couple minutes on Jake Hudson. I have no interest in that. But that's not reason for me to be like, fuck Tukey. This motherfucker talked about Jake Hudson, and I don't get it. I want to understand things. Why don't you talk about things I get, Tukey?
It was very niche, but his Jake Hudson material was excellent.
Well, yeah, and it's for the people that got it. Like I didn't understand it, but I don't know why you get so angry. Now, if I goof on Tukey, being like, this whole thing is about Stuttering John, you went up there and talked about Jake Hudson for 5 minutes. That's different than being like, oh, this motherfucker. And here's the thing is like, whether I got his Jake Hudson jokes or not, I think Tukey might be the most like talented person there. I think he's genuinely very funny. Like, I think he's actually, I'm curious if John does retire. I'd be curious to see what Tukey does because I would like to hear him talk about a lot more stuff outside of the Dabbleverse. I think he's genuinely like a very funny guy.
Welcome aboard the Tukey train. Get out of this fucking Dabbleverse. I've been on that for like a year with this guy. And also, who brought him by the show? And who introduced Tukey to the world? Blind Mike did. You were the first show he was on as a guest.
Me?
Yeah, you remember when we had him do Left on Red with Richard O'Hagan?
Is that right? I didn't realize we were the first.
No, we launched
it happening.
No, he may have been somewhere else first, but early supporters, stock buyers in Tukey.
No, I've always been a big Tukey, Rocco, Bedabbler fan. I think he's very funny. Well, that's ultimately my point. Is like I find him very funny. There's part of his roast I didn't give a fuck about, but like listen to Kevin where he's like it's insanity. It's insanity. Kevin, name something that's insane. That's the point of this. That's the skill to goofing on these people is bring something additive to the conversation.
Oh, you don't know his chat or his audience. They're not looking for additive.
Enhance the conversation, Kevin. Don't just go, guys, isn't this crazy?
They come to see what we're angry at today, Mike. What are we angry at today, Kevin? Let us know.
All right, what are we angry at, Kev?
It's going to be your brother again, isn't it?
Playing music, and people watching at home are probably like, what?
Right.
What the fuck are we even doing? And again, the fact that Shirley opened with jokes about my ass doctor, and that I talked about that like on Tuesday. So Shirley is like, I guess he watches every show I fucking do. Somebody just said, wait,
Kevin.
What does it say?
Kevin, what are you doing right now? Literally right fucking now. What are you you want to talk insanity, Kevin? You are scolding and berating Shuley for talking about you and watching everything you do while you're watching Shuley and reacting to him. That's like, you want to talk about insanity. That's clinically that's schizophrenic, Kevin, what you're doing. That is clinical. You should be institutionalized because I actually am worried about you now that you don't see the hypocrisy in what's happening where you're like, can you believe this guy watches me and talks about it? What do you think all of this is, Kevin? You paid for a live stream so you could watch with your friends.
Yeah, I don't have to watch it anymore. I mean, I'm kind of it's just getting so weird.
You don't have to watch it anymore. You got to the end. Shuley went last.
The credits are over, Mike. He doesn't have to watch anymore.
Yeah, right. That's like you see the final scene. You see Samuel L. Jackson come in after the credits in a Marvel movie, and you're like, you know what? I'm done with this horse shit. Well, good news.
Yeah. I'm sure I'll figure it out by the beginning of the next movie. I don't need to see this nonsense.
Porn bomb. They played.
I'm done. I'm never. You know what? Now that it's over, I'm never watching this roast again. Yeah. Again, Kevin, you want to talk insanity? It would be so much crazier if you kept watching it.
Let's watch it again.
It's on the screen for a long time. Be ready with the dumb. No, I would be ready with the dumb. I don't have to watch it anymore. I've got to. These guys are so. And again, the jokes are getting less funny because, I mean, Kumia's not going to do well. Shirley's not going to do well. The roast is too long. Mike Morris basically ruined.
I'm very confused. When is this taken from? Because he's talking about Shuli's jokes, and then he's like, Shuli's not going to do well.
I think he's flailing is my best answer to that. Like,
is he having like some sort of? Is he suffering from some kind of dementia?
I don't know, but
this must be taken out of context or something. Like this must be clipped weird because he's literally talking about the joke Shuli opens with, and then is like, you know, guys, I'm going to stop watching at the end of this thing because I don't think Shuli's going to do well.
Well, shout out to My Lost Interest, one of the great clippers out there, which I'm sure he's telling the story here.
Yes,
like
thank you, My Lost Interest, who makes it much easier for me. It's like, I would never sit through all of Kevin Brennan.
Yeah, this guy needs a mansion. All these clippers need a mansion ASAP. They make the job so much easier for everyone.
What I wonder about with Kevin Brennan, speaking of money, is like, he seems like such a miserable guy that doesn't do anything. Like, he's at the end of his life, essentially. What does he want? Like, why does he want all this money? You know what I mean? Like, what would he do with it? He should be content. Why is he so bitter about not having more money? He makes the living that he makes. He lives a seemingly boring life. Like, why is he so bitter about people that have more money than him? He does fine.
Well, do you ever remember Howard Stern talking about Bill O'Reilly and how he came to success late? He like struggled to all these stations, went around for everywhere. So Kevin Brennan, struggling musician for decades, right? Finally gets a job at a big station, Bill O'Reilly. It finally gets billions of dollars, Bill O'Reilly. And what does he want to do? He wants to sell you a cup with his name on it because there's not enough money. He's not satiated by the success he has. He only remembers the struggle. And so I'm going to sell you Frisbees, cups, napkins, doilies, everything with my name on it and likeness. That's this attitude. Kevin Brennan it's imposter syndrome. I'm calling it. He doesn't believe that he deserves the success that he has. And so you're hearing him argue it out with his id and his ego in his brain.
Right. And my thing, whether you found it to be the funniest thing in the world or you didn't, like my thing watching it was like, oh, they pulled it off. You know what I mean? Like it seemed like a legitimate roast that involved a lot of people who aren't comics or aren't professional comedians. Like that to me was pretty impressive. Like I thought the worst of the night was probably the guy who's been doing the longest. Not really shitting on him even. Like I thought Bob Levy had lesser laughs than like Cardiff or Tukey, you know? So that to me was most impressive. But like, again, even if you thought it sucked, why are you angry about it, Kevin?
Yeah, he's angry about most things.
And then Tukey did like at least 2 minutes.
God damn you, Morse. They don't got to put shit on the screen to stop people from clipping. Just put up fucking Mike Morse's act.
No, Chad's watching a roast going like,
at least like Carlos Danger's making a joke. You know what I mean? Like he's trying to add something to the conversation here.
He's continuing the roast.
Yeah.
Kevin's like, no, fuck this roast. They all die.
Carlos, no time for jokes. I'm angry.
And you notice who hasn't made one joke in this whole clip? The stand-up comedian on the bottom there. Wake up, Chad. Yeah.
Keeps talking. Keeps talking over the jokes. It's a total cockblock. My question is, why scat porn? Why not just regular tits and ass? Truly the mind of it. No, because they knew it took down Stuttering John's channel. That's why I know Melton's involved, and that's why I know Ian Hawk is involved.
Yeah,
because they know that worked. They know that.
Yeah, now he's getting deep into the weeds.
Completely lost me. Well, I mean, why? The answer is it was a Stuttering John related thing. It was a festival around Stuttering John, and they used a Stuttering John clip. I think that's pretty obvious why they chose that.
Yeah, that's ignorance or just trying to bait his audience into being ignorant. You know, they love being ignorant over there. I sit in that chat sometimes.
They jerk off to shit. That's why. This is what they jerk off to.
Have you ever seen them get memberships? They just jerk off invisible people.
That worked on Stuttering John, so that's why they're doing it. I paid. It's $30. I'm not going to do it in the middle of a show to suffice a girl $1.99 super chat. I don't play that way. This is like watching Porky's in the theater, and every time a girl's about to take her clothes off, the protectionist skips and screaming, get to the ground. It's so weird, man. They went through all this trouble.
Feels very dirty.
So you think the whole thing was a ruse? Carlos Danger to take my channel down?
Yeah.
I mean, at this
Boy,
point,
Kevin,
I
you're very
can't-
perceptive. No, you know what? I think they thought the most entertaining thing would be to randomly insert clips of the N-word and someone shitting.
I'm sure
Just
Cardiff
completely at random. And then they were afterwards. They were like, "Oh shit, Kevin was watching. Oops."
right in the middle of someone doing stand up. They did the come on.
Do you think is Kevin retarded? Like, is he? Because the way he talks has always seemed a little like slow to me. He seems like mentally he's not all there. Is he mentally challenged?
I think I'm gonna say that this is pretty much a full act. Kevin
Yeah,
Brennan
he's just pretending not to know.
He's a thespian, Kevin Brennan, because there is no way. Because when he goes after people I don't like, he's very on target, right? Because I see it. I see his sights from his point of view, and
I've heard Kevin be funny,
right
for sure.
So, but have you ever heard Stuttering John? No. So if you're not funny, you're not funny. Kevin is kind of funny,
Right.
But his sort of reality, I think, is shaped by that thing I was talking about. Lots of failures and then some success. So now he's just warped. Doesn't know how to handle success. Doesn't believe he earns it, and just takes it out on everyone.
Imagine, like, well after the fact, coming to the realization of, like, you know, I think they might have played the N-word because of the people illegally streaming it. Huh. Now, call me crazy. Listen, I know there's a lot of radical ideas out there, but I think they might have done it to thwart people who were illegally streaming it. This just dawned on me.
The Dabbleverse just makes its own content. I mean, the show to thank the Dabbleverse for its year of content created a half a year of content. This fucking thing. It's out of control. Someone needs to put it down.
I can't rule anything out.
Wow. Getting ahead.
Another scat porn.
Oh, these guys are so sad. It is.
This is the man who's cautiously scrolling through the roast. Now, this is sad. Now, hold on. Let me make sure I don't get porn bombed.
Is that
I can
an
watch
asshole?
their event.
No, that looks like a shitting asshole. Okay, no, that's just a comic. Oh god, it looked like a shitting ass. I've seen shitting hole assholes everywhere.
It's insanity. We're basically caught up. It's been an incredible day, but Carlos, do your Jerry Springer not final thoughts, but what's your take on, like, again? I know you're a little.
If it's
biased
not final thoughts, what do you want to do? Just do a Jerry Springer impression, Kevin? What are you asking for? Why invoke Jerry Springer if it's not his final thoughts?
Give us some sanity, Carlos, please.
You're here, but the fact that they went to so much trouble. No, when me and Chad did it with
Casey, you can enlighten me on this.
Try.
Pretty much just one guy in the back hit and play a few times, right?
Yeah. This was very simple.
It wasn't a tremendous amount of trouble, you don't think?
They uploaded it, and that was pretty much it.
You don't think after they played the N-word clip, they were ripping off their jerseys in the locker room in a heap of sweat? Like, oh my God.
We lost
I don't know
two
how
guys.
we did it.
We lost two guys on that one.
We porn bombed Kevin Brennan, but was it worth it?
We got to send a letter to the families.
So much trouble.
Melton and Hackmania. They didn't do any of this. So
yes, there was Saving Private Ryan, and then this. Those were the two things in order that were a lot of trouble for a very little thing.
I suspected they would do something, because they have not, Joe's
guy,
whole,
Kevin.
He didn't suspect it enough to, put a little delay on your video.
When I announced publicly that I was going to live stream their paywall event, I suspected they might not want me doing that.
Yeah, in real time. I wasn't even going to give it a 2-second delay. Nope.
Not a lot get past old KB. I thought maybe they would be up to some hijinks.
When I think KB, I think Tech Maven.
The whole thing is Joe's a loser. Producer Joe's a loser. So he'll be like, what I did was what I did. But I was ready for it.
Say that.
You got him, Joe. Joe, the producer, very nice man, and you got him, Joe.
That guy, this is exactly what he's going to be like. What I did was what I did. I can't wait till that smug bastard is brought to his knees and has to say that.
Especially when Shuli told me and John to definitely, because Chad thought me, John, and him sniping it together would be gold, and it would have been probably, but I don't trust John. John's always
a peek behind the curtain.
Yeah, that's yeah. We don't want to see how Oz was created necessarily. Sometimes
headache to deal with. He always wants like all the money,
Right.
And so I was just like, but the fact that Chili was like, yeah, go ahead and do it, because again, Chili's so obvious. He's always got the most obvious take. Just like when they bought me the super chats that day. I mean, not the super chats, bought me the live views, and Bob's like, yeah, Kevin's gonna have a lot of live viewers today. I bet he gets a bump up. And they're such hacks. Go ahead, Carlos Danger.
Yes.
Well-
Unlike this insightful commentary that you've provided, Kevin. I think, wow, that's really a comic genius at work. So far, he's pretty much repeated what happened. He's added nothing to this here. Now, I would probably, to some degree, enjoy if they just goofed on the roast. Like, that would be funny. But to go on and complain,
Carlos tried.
and that's why I like Carlos Danger. Is like he's trying to goof on it, which by all means, maybe it wouldn't be for me because I like a lot of those guys. But like, fucking go for it, man. Who cares? It's what I say about anyone that's goofed on this channel, where I'm like, yeah, it's not going to be for everyone. So it would be completely hypocritical for me to take a break from mocking GD Fenderson to say, guys, that aside, I think the people that goof on me are really over the line. That's too far. But Kevin is just this. He's like, can you fucking believe Shuli? No, we can't believe him, Kevin. Tell us something. Tell us something about Shuli that we can laugh at, please.
Yeah, there's a saying in football, college football, back next week. Can't wait, baby. But there's a saying that steel sharpens steel. Like, you want to be picked on by the best, so you can learn how to respond the best, and then they can respond to you. It's like this elevation of your talent. Steel sharpens steel. These are like, no, give me the softest fucking diaper around my face because I can't handle it.
We'll get to this later in the show for a certain someone. The problem is it works for Kevin. Like, I don't particularly get it, but Kevin obviously has some kind of charm to him where he has fans and people like him. Like, people like that show. The real damage that it's done is that people see Kevin just turn on his camera, do no show prep, yell for 2 hours, and make money. And they think they can also do that. That's the real damage it's done to the internet. Where now, I mean, that's what Stuttering John does. Same thing.
Yeah, he ripped off Kevin's whole thing. Stuttering John, it turned into Kevin. It was weird.
So now you just have people that are like, maybe I can just be completely lazy and thoughtless. And turn on it. That doesn't work for everyone. I think it probably has diminishing returns for Kevin even, but at least Kevin, like we said, is funny at times and is kind of unique in the sense that, like, I think it's an idea that doesn't have a ton of legs, but like he was one of the first to do that. Just turn on his camera and bitch and just get money from it. Like, that's not going to work for everyone. And that's the real damage that it's done, is people like someone we'll talk about later who's like, maybe I have a camera. Maybe I can do that.
Yeah, not everyone can be Stern. Be yourself.
Right.
When you stream snipe Melton's thing, Hackamania, that was hilarious. I mean, it was great I watched both. So just because you sniped one, I don't think you're taking money out of anybody's pocket.
Right.
So I guess it is just to fuck with you.
I love it. Mike, you missed it. He takes pictures of a $2 super. He takes pictures.
Yeah, why does he do that? It's been explained to me, but I still don't understand.
Okay, from what I can understand, and I watched this goddamn show, I still don't understand. He does that so he can shout them out at the end of the day, and then also he literally has like a database that he keeps in an old man notebook. Like, so when Kevin Brennan passes, whoever his family is going to come in there and find his notebooks of super chats from 20 years ago. It's going to be very funny. But yes,
so he does it for like a scrapbook, essentially?
Well, here's the thing, and I got to agree with Kevin on this. YouTube is shit at giving you like the analytic numbers in a financial way that is helpful. Like, you can dig and find numbers that are approximate or close to, but it doesn't, it's not like, here's your invoice, here's what you made per show, so here's what you can pay out per people. Like, so you actually have to keep an intricate record of it, but he does it with his cell phone, and that's funny to me.
Very interesting. But yeah, I agree with Carlos's point here. Like, Carlos, again, we're watching him add something to the conversation. He has an opinion, a take. He's like, listen, I don't think anyone that's watching Kevin's stream would have otherwise paid for the. I more or less agree with Carlos there. I don't think you were watching Kevin's version of it, because I think Kevin's commentary would get in the way if you actually wanted to enjoy the roast. So Carlos is doing his best to have a conversation here. Chad Zumock, by the way, hasn't spoken. Is he alive?
He is alive, but they clip interesting things, Mike. That's what they do in these clips.
Oh, that's fair. That's why Chad's
he's often left out. Yes,
Yeah.
he's often just the guy sitting there not saying anything.
But if Melton allowed Hackamania to go through, maybe he's not behind the Shuley thing. Maybe it's more of a Shuley camp. Joe, the producer, sending out that scab.
Right, but
thing.
Melton's
maybe
not on the roast. But you're right. I agree. Melton's not on the roast. So he's probably there, but what is he doing? So is he helping?
Melton wasn't. He was on WATP yesterday for about 5 minutes. They think Melton is running this thing.
They think Melton runs everything.
It's not his event.
He's
just there.
Him and T and Hawk. They
Yes.
call him T and Hawk.
It's also. I don't think Looney Tunes critic is behind it either. There's
And Jake
people there
Hudson.
that aren't necessarily running the live stream.
They're just seeing ghosts everywhere. These fuckers.
Joe because again, Melton was the one. This clip that they're using.
fingerprints out.
Ian has called me an R word and a murderer and a woke leftist online. I still like him. Like, I don't mention him. I don't think about
I
him.
don't know who that is. I don't know who that is.
He was Onion's main mod for his Discord for a while. He's sort of, everyone looks at him as like Onion's henchman, even though
Do they
Onion
think
says no.
he's behind this? A moderator of Nobody Likes Onions?
That's what I'm saying, but I don't even think he does that anymore. Like, that's what I'm saying. They're seeing ghosts. They're just saying
They have
names.
nightmares about Patrick Melton? What's happening?
No, a lot of people. Joey C has the same thing with the Ian Hawk dude. They have nightmares about this guy who they just. It's kind of like Kaiser Sose. They've imagined something that doesn't really exist, and now it exists in their. It's a boogeyman.
Good for Melton that he's been able to do to other people what Red Bar did to him, basically.
You
know what I
learn.
mean?
You learn. Will Chamberlain said you learn more by losing than you do by winning. You
Yeah.
learn by losing.
Yeah.
Trust me. I've lost a lot, Mike. I've learned some things.
On the
Pay-per-view.
shit.
He's doing the
Fingerprints
pay-per-view.
on the
No, that was the
scaffold.
one that took Stuttering John down, and that was Melton sending it out to all his people, and it was basically Ian Hawk. So I think they're in cahoots. Is
Ian Hawk!
This man, he's like a criminal legend, a mastermind. He also
Ian Vulture. This guy's circling around us, just waiting for dead bodies.
And he sort of circled back around. He was the one that got. I'm just saying. Allegedly, the rumor out there is he's the one that got Jake Hudson's channel taken down. So
I don't care about any of this. I just
that's why I said
I just know that Ian Hawk, I'm sure, is an innocent man.
he's just sitting there drinking a beer. Like, what did I do?
I can't imagine why poor Ian Hawk, whoever he is getting blamed for a porn tape being played at Dabblecon.
But you're probably right that Shuley was probably like, let's take anybody sniping down, and the fact that people paid and they got a
obviously, Kevin. What is it? Kevin's like, I think I've cracked the case.
He's so jealous. He wanted to do this. He's like, they got it in. I wanted.
No
to do something.
shit, Kevin. It's
interrupted.
like if I was watching Kevin's show and I was like, wait a second, hold the phone. I think this guy is just trying to collect enough super chats to pay his bills. You know what? I think I'm on to something. Guys, let's investigate. Carlos Danger, Chad, get on it, quick.
Because as we know, if you super chat, now we control what you spend it on. That's the new rule.
Yes, that's right. That's why no super chats are allowed today. So just
No.
keep that in mind.
Yeah. We didn't get to tell you what to do with the gold money, so no more for you, Mike.
Right.
This shit is
Right.
insanity.
This shit's insanity. That's how that went.
It really is. It really is insanity, Kevin. My mind was. I was like, I felt like I was in a rubber room. I was like, I can't. Why are they doing this? It can't be to fuck with Kevin Brennan. There must be more to it. I actually give credit to Kevin for not having the ego to think it was about him, even when it clearly was. I think they're doing this because people are streaming. Kevin, I think they said it on the roast. I think Vinny Paulino walked out and goes, "We just got Kevin."
Yeah, I mean, listen, we all everyone sort of knew something like that was coming, and so just fucking give yourself 10 seconds back time, have someone watching it, and then be like, oh, there's some poop. You should probably want to stop your stream. I mean, yeah.
It is funny, and I probably wouldn't I wouldn't want to play that on a show I was doing necessarily. But again, going back to those comments on Reddit, people were like, they could have just played a Disney music or something. And it's like, really? Like this free speech crowd it's always like, fuck censorship, man. It's like, you really should have played something from Cinderella instead of naughty words.
Here's how you should have censored their speech instead.
Yeah.
Blind Mike, I hate to say this. This is gonna make you really sad.
What?
But we have a couple super chats.
No, they're not allowed.
Just as a few. They're listening to us. Trust me. But and DJ Electra joins us. Hey, DJ Electra, how are you?
Hello, Electra.
I'm good. How are you guys?
Thank you for joining.
I'm here and I'm wearing white pants.
Ooh.
Uh-oh. We know what that means, guys.
Very interesting.
You don't know what that means, Mike?
I said very intriguing.
Yes. When women wear white pants, that means it's a visitor time. All right. You ready, DJ Electra?
I thought it was because you guys said it was wedding season.
Oh, yes. That's why.
Sure.
All right. Here you go. First one, DJ Electra.
Manny Muskets for $5. Bring Ojeda for the whole drinking game. Either way, it makes for a better story long term.
Mm-hmm. It could be interesting. I just wonder, would we have as much fun? Well, put it this way. We would drink when certain crutch terms are used. Would that be fun if the guy's sitting there with us?
Yes. If it happens after November. Then before November, no.
And by the way, I shouldn't even be responding to these dastardly wrongdoers. I just want to see who has betrayed me by sending super chats.
Well, this one didn't betray you. I think you're gonna accept this one. So go ahead.
I don't know.
Carlos Danger for $10. I like you, Blind Mike, though I'm 24 minutes behind.
Okay,
so that might change, is what he's saying there.
No, I've said only nice things. Maybe I misread something. I saw a tweet of his or something, I thought, where he was not a fan, but maybe I misunderstood. So I'm glad Carlos is on my side.
Not possible, Mike. Everyone's your fan. So.
Well, Carlos isn't that much of a fan because he doesn't realize no super chats allowed, you son of a bitch.
Well, I guess, yeah. Thank you, DJ Electra Fry. We'll see you in a little bit. All right, Mike, you ready to go to Dabblecon?
Yeah, so let's stay focused on Dabblecon because unlike Kevin, someone tried to make some content out of this. So, and this makes me, maybe I'd prefer Kevin's way, I think, of just boringly bitching about things, because this is a guy who actually tried something creative and just bombed.
Do you know this guy? Have you ever heard of Jim
Rob Saul?
Grindle?
Oh no, I don't know Jimmy Grundle or whatever his name is.
Jimmy Grundle. Well, that's his new name. So get rid of Grindle. It's now Grundle.
Jimmy Grindle. I'm sorry. That actually, it wasn't on purpose.
Jimmy Grundle. It's nice to meet you. All right. So yes, we have Jim Grindle coming at you live from Dabblecon.
Who is he? Should I know him?
So he was a guy that used to be early, like in hot water shows, early Compound.
Okay.
Then he was sort of run out of there. And he kind of hangs on the periphery of stuff and shows up from time to time. But he has a real deep voice and an interesting perspective, so I don't hate the guy, like all broadcasters. But here he is reporting back to Rob Saul on the happenings of
yeah, so Rob Saul has an idea, and he says, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to infiltrate Dabblecon. Yes, I will send the Saul army into behind enemy lines into Dabblecon, and I will ruin the event for all of them. Mwahaha! And it doesn't really work, so we'll see.
It's more like but yeah, close.
We're gonna get we have a lot more Rob Saul coverage that we'll get to later, but first I want to see what hijinks he's up to at Dabblecon.
When you sent me the Rob Saul stuff to edit, I never have been more in love with you, Mike. I was like, we are on the same page on this one. This is like finding out you love The Office.
He is poison. He's legitimate. He's podcasting poison. I said this about DG. I can't tell who's worse because at least DG was completely boring and like made you want to fall asleep. Rob Saul makes you viscerally angry. So I guess in terms of podcasting, Rob Saul's getting a reaction out of you, where DJ was just the equivalent of just holding a sneaker up to the camera. It was just absolutely nothing. Whereas Rob Saul, you're repulsed by. So I guess in terms of getting a reaction, Rob Saul is better, but it's tough.
It's a hate listen. It's a hate listen.
It's really tough. And the worst is that he's a jellyfish. He's completely spineless. Like, I thought, given his attitude and he has some anger to him, I thought maybe he was a little cynical. But then when you hear him with John, he's just putty. And I don't know if that's a bit, if he's playing John for doing some long play with him or something, but he's just a completely flaccid man on John Melendez's show. But let's see. He gets into some shenanigans here at Dabblecon.
Yeah, this one's called Tukey.
Oh, yeah. So he talks to the aforementioned Tukey. My friend Rocco is outside Dabblecon, and just watch how Jimmy Grundle gets to him. Oh, does he penetrate the almighty Tukey? Finally, this cocksucker is taken down a few pegs.
Jimmy Grundle. That's going on his tombstone.
Else. Let's find some more of these great Dabblecon.
I see another one we haven't spoken to yet.
Okay.
Another one of the big celebrity people. He has a puppet on his hand, so obviously he wants to. Excuse me. Excuse me. You're live on the Rob Saul show. Can you tell him stuff? Hi, Rob. You stink.
Now, how did Rob think this was going to go? Like, Tukey would just be like, "Oh God, one of Rob Saul's goons is here," and just piss himself. Like, what did he think would happen? What was Rob Saul hoping would happen? That everyone would go, "Oh, Rob Saul, you're not Ian Hawke, all right, pal." You don't invoke the fear that Ian Hawke does.
Look at that.
You're stinking stuff.
Who are you wearing today?
Who am I wearing?
Yes,
I'm wearing green shag carpet.
Okay, all right, because we're doing it. We're not really here to.
What breed of dog are you f***ing today?
Like any kind you got.
What was he expecting? Like, what did he think would happen? That they wouldn't make fun of him?
I think that you can't see it, Mike, but in his description of his name, it's Dabbleverse villain. So he's embracing the role.
Rob Saul.
Yes. He's literally these people learn from Stut Joe. And here's the thing about Rob Saul, and we'll talk about it later. He wanted to be like a broadcaster, like a normal broadcaster, probably like you, like a good broadcaster. Some people just can't lift that weight up the hill, but they still want to do this. And so they see Stuttering John, and they see Kevin Brennan, they see those hate comments, and there's a lane. And
they're seeing Stuttering John and saying, "Hey, he can't do this either. Maybe I can learn from him."
Yeah, but money comes in.
Right.
And I just have a night job where I'm a bartender, and this would be fun during the day, and no woman likes me, and my dog's the only one that pays attention to me. Let's do it.
But here's the problem. You're thinking macro. I'm asking micro.
Okay.
In this moment,
okay,
what was Rob Saul hoping to accomplish with Jimmy Grindle?
Yes, I like Grundle better, but yes.
Well, I wasn't being cute, actually, the first time.
Oh, yes, his name is Jim Grindle, but yes.
What an obnoxious name.
Yeah, I don't think it's his
Okay,
real
well,
name.
so what were Rob and Jim Grindle hoping to accomplish? Like, so Jim's there on site, and he puts a microphone in your face, and he's like, "You're talking to Rob Saul." What was the reaction like they were anticipating?
Well, I don't think Rob ever thought that anyone would ever pay attention to him, so I don't think anticipation.
He didn't think that far ahead?
No, he's like, listen to his questions. What are you wearing?
He had nothing.
And
Tukey, again, I think Tukey's very funny. Like, he's very quick and just immediately knows how to respond to this asshole in a way that makes him uncomfortable. So really, like, Rob Saul is the one that's getting goofed on here.
On his own show, just getting lambasted. The roast continues. Sorry, Kevin.
That's great.
Guy back here said you stuck with your fire hole. Yes.
All right. Well, thank you for talking to us.
He's like, okay, well, this didn't go as I was hoping.
Thank you, Tukey and Rock.
Dabbler and Tukey. We're just trying to get some fashion going.
They also didn't like you.
They also didn't like
poor Jim Grindle. He's like, no one here. Rob, you'll be surprised to find out no one here really gives a fuck about you.
The irony that Jim Grindle is like in the same stratus. They're in the same place. So I actually appreciate that Grindle is like using him as a shield to run through the Dabbleverse and make another attempt.
Yeah. here's my thought. I'm thinking of this on the fly as we go here. I guess Rob Saul is, in podcasting terms, above DG because he's invoking a reaction. Like, people hate Rob Saul, whereas DG was just podcasting cyanide. It was horrendous. Whereas Rob Saul, like, evokes some emotion where you viscerally hate Rob Saul. DG was just an immediate tune-out. So that's something, I guess.
Do you find that you listen to things you hate equally to things you like, Blind Mike?
Sometimes, but here's the thing: if Rob Saul is on John's show, I'll turn it off.
Oh, wow, that's interesting.
Like, I do hate Rob Saul, but not in the Howard Stern way, where it's like the people that hate you listen more than the people that love you. Rob Saul to me is a tune-out. I'm sure for some people they're like, and now, like, I watched his solo show to see what it was about, and we have some clips for later. So, like, in terms of that, I guess I will continue watching, but it's tough. Like, watching John, to me, at times, is a treat because he's a buffoon. I like to laugh at him, but it is entertainment for all intents and purposes. Rob Saul is just a complete tune-out to me. Like, on the road trip, the Dakota trip, Justin put on Stuttering John's show, and Rob Saul popped in, and I was kind of like, oh, let's just turn it off. Like, I didn't want to keep listening to it because a Rob Saul episode is so much worse than just John on his own.
Yeah, while you're saying that, that makes a good point. How I would define them separately is if you can sit someone down who's never heard the show and just have them watch it and be like, this guy sucks it, but it's entertaining as hell. That's Stuttering John. If you put someone you didn't know in front of Rob Saul, they are going to hate you. Right. So yes, that's the fundamental difference.
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
Give you credit because I would never go out there. These people hate me out there, and you're out there.
This one's called backfiring, by the way.
This is where you see just a brilliant idea at work. This is where you get to see the mind of Rob Saul and Jimmy Grindle working together as one unit, and everything just firing on all cylinders.
We got a master blaster situation going on.
Yes.
Representing Rob Saul, and I got to give you credit, Jim Grindle. You have a set of balls, my friend.
Rob Saul, why wouldn't you go? What would they do? They're not beating up Jim Grindle. Like, what would they do? Go, hey, you fuck dogs.
John could have showed up. Like,
yes,
he should have shown up.
That's the thing. At this point, maybe there's too much ill will towards John, but I always use this example when I was at Skankfest this year. I'm sorry, maybe a couple years ago. But one year when I was at Skankfest, it's Dave Smith, Big J, and Lewis on stage, and they're about to bring out a guest. And Dave Smith goes, well, guys, like, this is a controversial figure, but please have an open mind. Give her a big round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, Amy Schumer. And the place went fucking bananas. And the joke was Tim Dillon walked out. So that, like, it wasn't Amy Schumer, obviously. But for that 3 seconds that everyone there thought it was Amy Schumer, who they've all hated over the years and trashed and think she's a joke thief and all this kind of shit. That 3 seconds when they thought it was Amy Schumer, they were like, hey, you know what? Good for you for showing up. Like, and that moment to me has always stood out because I'm like, oh, as much as people shit on you online and have an opinion of you, if you play along and show that there's more to you than meets the eye, that you're willing to goof around a little bit, that goes not just a long way. Like, I can't explain how long that goes for you. Where, like, if John showed up there in good humor and roasted, if John showed up at the roast and told jokes about himself and then everyone else, I think he would have gotten a standing ovation.
Well, okay, yeah. So what I call that's the Rudy ending. And it will never happen with John, but I always think about it, like, on these particular things. Like, if he would have got on that stage, not only joked on himself, but pulled out the lawsuit and said, here's the lawsuit. I'm suing you, Carl. I'm suing you, Shuli. And then he ripped it up in front of everyone and says, I'm in now. Like, the place would have erupted. The building would have exploded. Like, there's a pent-up emotion in everyone who's a fan of this shit to see him do one right thing.
Right.
And I think he would get support behind that. And that's, like, why it's such a missed opportunity if you're, like, a narrative guy or something. Like, what a story that could have been. But he'll never take the Rudy ending, ever.
And Rob Saul, who's like, I'm afraid of these people. if he showed up and had a good, just, drank with these guys, the narrative today would be, you know what? Rob Saul's actually a nice guy. And then we'd be able to make fun of the people who are like, you know what? I actually kind of like Rob Saul's show because we would know they're lying. But that, people are very easy to influence. Like Tom Myers, after doing my show, I just liked him more. He kissed my ass a little bit, and I was like, hey, maybe this guy ain't so bad.
It's honestly why I appreciate the Joey C level of broadcasting. Just drive to everyone's house, meet them in person, and then they won't troll you anymore.
Well, that I don't advocate for.
It's
that
amazing.
I think is a terrible
It just
idea.
shows up on your doorstep, and you're like, okay, I'll stop trolling you.
I don't condone that. But if that's what I mean is if Rob Saul showed up to this event and wasn't an asshole, people would be fine. You don't have to be afraid of everyone.
But in real, Joey has showed up to these events, and people who were trolling him have changed because he showed up. You meet him.
Exactly.
It's a human being. Ah, shit, I won't troll him as much anymore. It does happen.
Yeah. So let's see. You said he described himself as the villain of the Dabbleverse, Rob Saul?
Dabbleverse villain, yes. He's leaning into it.
Let's see what the Joker is up to this week.
He does laugh like the Joker. God damn, you just nailed it.
Do it for the cause, Mr. Saul. We do it for the cause.
I got to give you that. When you told me
Journalistic
you were going
integrity.
out,
There's a man on the phone right here who's going to stand by him.
Let's just bother a civilian.
Hey, how's it going?
How are you? You're
I'm
dressed
doing
very
very good.
nice today. How
very
come?
good. Thank you. I'm talking to my father right now. Who's this?
This is Rob Saul of the Rob Saul program.
Oh,
on the
God
internet.
bless you, Rob Saul. How you
It's his
doing?
birthday.
Good.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Rob Saul.
Well, are you a big Rob Saul fan? I mean, do you tune in?
I can't say I'm entirely familiar. However, you do look familiar.
Are you a big Rob Saul fan? What a humiliating question. Joe Rogan shouldn't ask that. Never mind Rob Saul.
The Rock shouldn't ask that. No one should ask that.
You a big
Familiar,
Rob
man.
Saul fan? No.
That's something a villain would ask, though. So
Am I a
he's
fan
leaning-
of a bartender in fucking Maryland or wherever he's from? No, not particularly.
With a giant green screen. Mike, when I say a giant green screen, this man has a green screen the size of his whole room. You do not have an SSL board in your room, asshole. No one believes that. That's what really bothers me about this man. He has thousands of dollars of analog gear behind him, and he couldn't name one thing. That's just my pet peeve about him.
Think through WATP.
Yeah, they make fun of me a lot on there.
Oh, well, God bless you.
Stuttering John's co-host.
Oh, that's right. Yes. Okay, I remember you. You're the new DG.
This guy is killing whoever he is.
Get this guy a contract and a green screen. Stat.
God, the worst.
DG's the worst. Yeah.
No, I am.
Now, Rob, if I may translate, hold on. If I may translate, Rob, this man is saying DG is the worst. You are an even less original version of DG. What, Rob? What did you think would happen? What would if you just want to go up to people and get their opinion on you, and you are the villain of the Dabbleverse? What did you think would happen? You're not even heckling these people. You don't have mean comments for them. You're just like, hey, do you like me? And they're like, not really. And you're like, okay.
What are you wearing?
What are you wearing?
I'm America's sweetheart, sir.
Oh, well, God bless you.
This is just a nice guy.
Is
And
he
these,
still
by the
there?
way, are the people. Every Minifan, you know, a theme I've noticed with fan bases that have a certain opinion, or people have a certain opinion about them. I've noticed this at Minifan events. I've noticed it at Skankfest. I have not been to a WATP event or anything, but I'm getting the same vibe from this man, where you can have an opinion about, oh, they're evil, they're mean online, so they must be terrible people. When you meet them, they're the sweetest groups of people you could ever imagine. You know, like I've met Minifans that I'm sure have tweeted horrible shit to me. They're all sweet as pie. It couldn't be nicer. They're just people that have fun online, and I might not always take it well, but like in their minds, they're having fun. And that's what these people are doing at Dabblecon. And Rob Saul shows up and is like, what are you, a bum? And they're like, hey, you stink. And Rob's like, okay, I'll get out of your hair.
He's very, very placid villain, I gotta say.
Yes, yeah. And like this guy is just handling it. He's like, oh, yeah, no, I don't particularly like you, but God bless you. I hope you do well.
We all remember when Batman was fighting the Joker, and then the Joker was just like, oh, okay, I'll just move on to the next
Oh,
guy.
I guess I guess no one knows who I am. Sorry for bothering you, Batman.
Yeah, I guess I'm no Riddler.
Hit me up to give an acceptance speech.
Red Soul Army!
You titled, "What's the point of this?" That could be this whole thing.
Yeah, like what is this venture he's doing here? Like why are you there, Rob? I'd be curious to know if he honestly said, and this is where like these guys can never be honest or self-deprecating. If Rob Saul was like, you know what, I went into it half-cocked, I had no plan, and it completely failed. But Rob will be like, no, I exposed what losers these people, they're all losers. And these losers had an event, and I dedicated my life to ruining it. That's how you know they, and only they, are losers.
I sent my top dog Grundle out there to expose him.
That's like, again, and it goes back to what Kevin Brennan was doing. Like, make fun of it, shit on it, whatever. By all means, have fun. But when you're like angry and you're like, these people are losers, it really sounds like you're jealous you're not there. You're jealous that you weren't invited. Even you heard Rob say there, he's like, did I get nominated for a Dabby? They didn't ask me for an acceptance speech. It's like, no, no one thought of you, Rob. No one gave a fuck about you.
No, but you can satirically ask for an award. We have established that at the beginning of this show. You can.
Don't super chat me, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, they're listening. Well, kind of.
Good. Loud and clear.
YouTube's going to have a conversation with you because the drop-off, they're going to be like, what happened?
That's what I'm talking about, fella.
All right, well,
Rob
that happened. Yeah, he does. He likes you too. He's one of your one of the few.
You know,
oh yeah, hold on. So the guy yelled Rob Saul Army, and Jimmy Grindle is like, this guy likes you. So that's a win for the Saulmeister.
Yeah, you got one, Rob.
But hold on,
got one.
So handsome and debonair.
Fucking like that guy. He just came back to clarify.
He's like, hey, listen, I have you don't know my name, but I have a standard to uphold. I can't have you thinking that I like Rob Saul. I want to be very clear. I think he's a piece of shit.
I have children who may see this.
Do not like that.
I don't want to get fired from my job, for God's sake.
Yes. No. Was I on the show with Chris Hansen? Yes. But I do not want this on the air. No. If I had to choose, reputation maker, take this one down. Leave up the Hansen one.
He says you are something special.
Okay. Tell him that he's a big fat pig. But
nice, Rob. Hey,
got him.
Big win for Saul.
1,000 miles away, give him a terrible insult.
You got him. Hey, you're fat. Oh, okay.
Meanwhile, Rob looks like a giant keg. Look at this guy. Oh, you can't see him. But Blind Mikey looks like a keg with a head.
You know, but it completely deflates the entire insult when a moment ago you were like, hey, we got a member of the Saul Army. Oh, he doesn't like me? Well, he's fat. Oh, okay.
There's going to be a lot of people going AWOL from that army, I got to say, Mike.
Jesus Christ.
I did it. And he definitely heard me. He wants an in-person super chat. Yeah, I'm not giving Rob Saul money. All right, thank you.
Like, what did you accomplish here, Rob?
I'll tell you what they accomplished. The roast of Rob Saul. That's what they accomplished.
You just showed people don't like you on your own show. Nicely done.
This is why I would never do this. It'd be a fuck Hackride, fuck Hackride, fuck Hackride.
Well, but that's self-awareness that you have. And maybe they wouldn't. Maybe people would be like, hey, I like Hackride, or I like Casey Day, because they're very different guys.
Yes.
But like, you have the self-awareness to be. I wouldn't do this, and I think a majority of people there either like or don't mind me.
Everyone loves you, and you would do. That's amazing. And he's like, no, do it. Here, Grindle, get out there.
But I wouldn't have the balls to be like, so I guess you got to give Rob Saul credit for that. I wouldn't be like, hey, do you like Blind Mike? And they'd probably say yes. But what is Rob Saul doing here? Like, the only plan he had was to be like, hey, do you like me?
Yeah, like this is an important thing. Like again, I always mention the Catalano, Joey C. It's very important to know your status with everyone at all times. I need to know if everyone likes me or doesn't at all times.
Yeah. I mean, I've definitely had some of that, and you have to work on it. It's a personality flaw that you need to work on, Rob.
Yes. Oh, thank God I was born when I was born. I could give a fuck about any of you.
Was that it? Was that it? There's more Saul.
There's like 10 more seconds of the army. 10 more seconds of the army.
Okay.
OJ wants to know if you have more than 4 people watching.
Hey, OJ, my man.
Hold on. Watch this. Watch this response. Watch how he owns OJ here.
100. We have 76. I know it's not OJ numbers, but listen, we're doing it, buddy. We're doing it.
Right.
Do we have 4 viewers? Try 70.
We're doing it.
These are very good numbers.
All right, that's all. That's all for this one.
I get and Rob, no one would be insulting you if you didn't try to ruin their day by having someone stick a microphone in their face and go, "What are you doing here?" I don't know, enjoying my event.
I almost want to go into more Rob Saul, but what would you like to go? Oh, we have some super chats, Mike. DJ.
No, those are bad people. You're not just guys. If you're here late, no super chats allowed. Knock it off.
Well, before the super chat, I will go ahead and say that Pulper80 gifted 5 Blind Mike memberships. Technically,
well, that's
not a super chat.
That's
technically not a
we
super
allow
chat.
Gifted membership. That's fine.
Yes, and so thank you, Pulper. I think DJ Electra Fry has probably fallen back asleep. So Zach H for $9.99. Blind Mike is the pride of the Pioneer Valley, and Casey
thank
Day.
you, very nice.
Yeah, it's very nice. I don't like the second part though. And Casey Day is the dollar store version of Krager's. Mick blows. I don't know what a Mick is, but
I don't know. No, you're not supposed to. The good boy.
I don't. I have no idea. What
yeah, I don't know what's going on with Mick, but I guess I'll talk about it tomorrow on KMS. I lean more towards maybe it was all thought out. I genuinely don't know. It's hard to tell with him.
I don't know what you're talking about, but Mick
no,
is
you're not supposed to.
Yeah, that name, it's in Greek. It means unappreciative. Did you know this?
Well,
but I don't know who he is. What would you like to go to, Mike?
Well, since we're speaking of live shows, we should talk about a live show that had equal success. I mean, people seemed very excited to be there. So earlier this week, we haven't had a chance to talk about it yet. Patrick Melton played the tape of Steel Toe's 10th anniversary show. So, and I will always give people credit for this. I saw Melton and all these guys shitting on the amount of people there. I'm stunned anyone was there.
Yeah.
for a Steel Toe live show. I'm genuinely impressed that I heard human beings. Now, what they were chanting was unsavory, but we'll get to that. But
Made a great thumbnail, though. Thank you guys for that.
I say good for him for getting anyone there. If we do a live show, I'm not confident anyone will show up. So hats off to Aaron for that, I guess. But I was just amazed. You sent me something that made me think what an amazing hypocrite. I wasn't going to talk about this until you showed me how Aaron has turned on his own fans after supporting him at a live event.
Do you want the turning on the fans or the live event first?
You're the producer. What do you think? What makes more sense?
I think turning on the live fans makes it funnier when we watch him, how much he loves them.
All right, so let's hear that. I think you're right. Let's hear that, where Aaron is scolding his audience, and you must think, oh, he must have had a dreadful time at this event. After you hear what Aaron is wagging his finger at them for doing.
All right, here we go. And just a little music.
No, I don't even know if there's.
Oh no, sorry. This is the one I sent you. I'm sorry. Here we go.
Okay. Going to be a comedy show at the next anniversary show. You guys, no offense to the audience, but you guys probably ruined that.
Oh, Aaron, offense! Offense! You and Johnny Crutches aren't going to do comedy? Much offense taken. Don't take that away from us. Aaron, we've been bad. And we understand that, but please, for the love of God, don't make your standard ham-handed racial jokes. Don't take those away from us, Aaron, please.
I mean, you just drove through the Midwest. That's why, there's nothing to do. That's why they went and hung out with him. But he's like,
we drove through St. Cloud, actually. Again, the days didn't line up. I was wishing we just could have stopped there. But
God damn.
I know.
That would have been amazing.
Guys, yelling shit like that. Like, we just can't. It's not good for the business we're doing the show at. It's not a good look for us either. Like, it's not a good look for me.
Oh, no, hold on. They must have revolted against Aaron's wishes. I can't wait to get to these tapes because we're going to get to hear how much Aaron hated what the audience was doing. Doesn't it seem like Aaron, clearly they start yelling something and Aaron's like, guys, stop, please. What are you doing? You're ruining everything.
You almost had to shut the event down, Mike. It was that bad. It was.
Boy, this seems like a revolt. It must have been all Melton fans there. That's very sad.
You know, to have you guys like, look, man, I've been very cool with you guys saying basically whatever you wanted. Everybody got a little too fucked up.
I'm sorry. Hold on. We don't need you to be cool with it, Aaron. We're adult human beings.
I've never got scolded by my radio host. This is amazing.
You're in the principal's office right now.
I am.
Hey, listen, I've been pretty cool, I think. I've been pretty lenient with you guys. But you can't go saying stuff like that. Aaron, we're adults. We'll do whatever the fuck we want. You're not our mother.
And you ever want to have someone say something terrible, tell them not to say it over and over again. Aaron,
that's another good point. That's another good point. Is that Aaron going, all right, guys, if we ever do this again, don't shout the N-word.
It's going to be 3 times as loud. It's going to be tiki torches next time.
On Saturday for the comedy show. I'll be honest. After my first trip on stage, I didn't want to do it anymore.
Oh,
I
man.
was just kind of
what
like...
a struggle that must have been for such an artist.
It's pretty weird juxtaposition going from Rob Saul to this guy.
I can't wait till if you guys have not seen what we're about to play yet, I can't wait till we get there for your sake. Because you're thinking like, oh my God, Aaron lost control of the event. It was a coup. The Nobody Likes Onion fans took over this event, and Aaron had no control over it. I can't wait to show you what he's responding to.
These guys are too fucked up. They're not here for a comedy show. We can't do stand-up. We can't do comedy. There was stuff I wanted to do, and I read the vibe of the room. I'm like, I'm not doing it. I'm not going to sit up here and do stand-up while people are yelling the N-word and the K-word and shit.
Aaron, please. I would hate to see Picasso lose his paintbrush. Please, for the love of God, Aaron. If there's anything, maybe we can be punished in other ways. We'll do community service. But please, don't take the stand-up of Aaron Imholt away from us. That's not fair. No crime is suited with that punishment.
Michael Richards is so mad right now. He's like, God damn, just a decade later, I would have been good.
Please, Aaron.
And then chanting it out and shit like that. So, yeah, you guys fucked that up. No offense.
You guys.
You guys fucked that up.
You guys fucked that up. Okay, so clearly something bad happened at this Steel Toe event. And you guys are probably thinking, what? Wait a minute. What happened? Why were they being so mean to Aaron? Well, we have Patrick Melton basically reacting to this, right? This is from Nobody Likes Onions.
Correct.
It's mostly just the clips, but you might hear a little from Melton, because I don't think the full video is out there. I think the only version is Patrick's version.
Yes, thank you, Patrick, for allowing us to play this.
Yes.
But yes, Patrick's in there, and it's hilarious. So here we go. This first one's fun time.
All right.
A little music, Mike, here for us to get everyone going. Just in that.
This is ridiculous music to play. This was certainly this is a Klan rally. We just heard. Well, I mean it is, but we just heard Aaron say how horrible it was. The music does not fit the vibe of this at all. That's silly.
They call him a hootenanny, Mike.
So I decided this morning, because this weekend was crazy busy with the anniversary show and the big success of that, and of course, you know,
I mention this is like 2 days earlier, by the way. This is before Patrick talked about it.
Don't live to trigger the people who hate us, but the fact that we did makes me very happy.
Hey guys, listen, it ain't my goal to be the coolest guy in the room. It just happens so naturally. What can I say?
I have different goals.
I can't control. Maybe when I walk into a room, I always hope a dick will be bigger than mine. But sure enough, every room I walk into, the biggest swinging meat in there in town. It's not possible for me to be the coolest guy there is. I'm sorry, guys. I try. I try to lower my riz, but I just can't do it.
I can't even be the coolest guy in my marriage. Ew.
The fact that they have to go after language because you just had a big sold out event that everybody had a good. There's nothing worse than when you're the guy who's trying to have a bad time when everyone else is having a great time because nobody look.
That's very interesting. A moment ago, Aaron, in the future, we hear you say what an awful time you had. How you were the only one in the room not enjoying yourself when these monsters were heckling you.
Looks at you and goes, "Whoa, look at this rebel." They just kind of look at you and they go, "I feel bad for that guy. He just has an inability to have fun."
I guess that's you, Aaron, right? Because you just said what a horrible time you had.
This is amazing watching it this way.
It's crazy to watch. And when I tell you the reason he's doing this, it's even crazier that he's trying to save face like this. But it's wild. This is what, 24, 48 hours earlier? He's like, we had the greatest time ever. Oh, we were slapping five and tipping them back. What a tremendous time we had. Hey, I can't help that my haters hate how cool I constantly am. It just happens naturally, baby. And it flash forward 2 days, and he's like, I was a victim. I was a victim of the most horrible atrocity in podcasting history. I can't believe what you guys put me through.
This is not the place and time. You could be enjoying yourself right now.
Go read a book or something. Go read a book.
What a horrible... Go read a book. What does that mean?
You got to work on your trolls, Aaron. This one's called Chance. I wonder what this is.
Okay, well, now this... So we get into the crowd.
Some crowd work.
And you heard... Now, watch closely and listen closely. I guess only listen, right? There's no video of this.
No video. Yeah, I think this is just...
Listen closely, and you guys will have to be... I'm able to detect people's tone very well because I've had a life of sightlessness. So try and join me. It might be more difficult for you guys. See if you can hear the pain in Aaron's voice during these clips where he's like, oh, I wish these monsters, these utter monsters would stop the hate that they're spewing.
Before we start chanting homo.
Now, hold on a second. He's readying us for a chant of a homo. Now, where I come from, Aaron, maybe we're a different generation. Where I come from, that's sort of a derogatory term, particularly if a room of people are chanting it.
Well, you got to go back to that first video, I think. He's very upset about what
he doesn't like this. This is his way, and I guess, we all have different methods to get our messages across. This is Aaron saying, guys, for the love of God, please don't do anything inappropriate here.
I finally understand how conservatives feel about Nick Fuentes.
Oh no, they went against Aaron's wishes. Oh no, he must be so devastated.
All he has to do is say that, and then they do it. He knows what he's doing.
Oh, Patrick, that's not true. Patrick, you don't hear him a couple days from now when he's like, no, I wish you didn't do that.
Can't you hear the audience ruined him, Patrick? The audience.
Patrick, it's sad to watch Patrick just grasping at straws. Patrick is way off on this. Clearly, you hear him say, let's not start chanting homo yet. We'll get to it in a minute.
The yet is very important in that sense.
Guys, before we start chanting homo, and then immediately...
Can you imagine? I'm actually, jokes aside, I'm stunned in 2024 that this was happening in public. I go to Skankfest every year.
I just assume this happens at every bar in the Midwest, like midnight.
Yeah,
that's
the thing to remember is like Skankfest is a controlled environment. This is just like at a bar.
Yeah, biker bar,
Minnesota.
I think it's a biker bar, right?
He's going back on radio with a small family broadcasting company.
Okay, so hold on. What you heard right there, if we could go back just a few seconds and play that again. That's why we heard the earlier reaction. Is Aaron... So I guess Aaron has some offer where he's going back on radio.
Oh no.
I don't know a ton about this. I only know from what I've heard Patrick say. And it seems like it's a legitimate offer, which I gotta say, in 2024, that seems like it's going backwards. Maybe
I got offered a job to do a early morning radio show in Fresno, and I was like, "How much does it pay?" And they're like, "No, you pay us." That's what radio is right now.
Especially, in St. Cloud, Minnesota. I can't imagine. We've analyzed the numbers of the goal. I can't imagine he's making more in radio, quite honestly. For some AM station in the middle of fucking nowhere. I drove through there. There is nothing. There is nothing out there.
I think you can relate to this though, Mike, because we did it for 5 hours. This guy does it 4 times a day, maybe sometimes 8 times a week. He's looking for any off ramp from this goddamn goal. AM radio.
The goal, I will say the goal is torturous.
It is. And if you did it every day of your life, you woke up goal, you went to bed goal. Oh,
I wouldn't know which way is up anymore.
Give me an AM radio job in Tuscaloosa right now.
I would just walk around like a Nam vet.
Every day's your night. That was my broadcasting 9/11. That goal show. By the way, have you seen Swordfish? Ew.
On radio with a small family broadcasting company.
Now, so we heard Aaron say like, "Oh, people are." I think we'll hear. There's another clip too where he's talking about like this free speech crowd is worried about censorship. No one's worried about it. They just think it's kind of hilarious that you were trying to get into bed with a family radio station in Minnesota. And Aaron's religious. I don't know if that will play a part into that part of the country is maybe a little more religious than say like the Northeast at this point.
Well, Mike, have you not heard? God doesn't like the homos. This is all good.
That's fair. That's fair. But in today's climate, I think a guy that has, and we'll hear how the clip ends, but let's just say for now, a guy that has his audience chanting homo probably won't last long on regular radio. That's just a fact. Whether you're pro or anti-censorship, that's just the nature of the beast. This isn't suited for radio.
Okay, so now it's even becoming grosser because I'm realizing that 2 day later apology tape is for the family video people.
Yes,
that's my
point. That's what's really gross is he's trying to save his own ass. He didn't come to Jesus and say like, now that I think about it, I hate that we did that. He's like, oh fuck, I have to save some future job.
All you assholes that have donated to the goal all those times, right under the bus. Come here, AM radio.
Yeah, no, the loyal audience that has supported him over and over again. Fuck you guys. Fuck the people, and not just the people that super chat him. The people that showed up to this event and seem like they're having a good time. And that's where, again, I said, I won't shit on Aaron for the crowd because these people seem into the show that's happening. And again, they are not trolling him. They are into the show that he is leading.
He's the conductor of this orchestra. He's not like a fan watching it.
Yeah. I like Aaron waving his wand.
Pulling his clan mask off with his wand. Clan symphony would be hilarious.
Guys, I said before we start chanting.
They're exhausted. They're like, oh, God, fine, we'll do it again, Aaron. Aaron is making them go above and beyond with their homo. He's like, come on, guys, please, a little more. And they're like, oh, Jesus. All right. Homo.
Yeah, it could be said that, those people are now just following orders, right? Like, they're not.
They're like, Aaron, we only had so many homos in us. Please. God, we're tired.
I only had so many homos in us.
This show is less than 10 minutes in. Queer!
But hey, again, the guy that yells that is feeling the vibe of the show.
Well, we're coming out.
This is like if you were at a Minifan event and the crowd was chanting Kirk. This is what is supposed to be happening.
I don't know what that is, but we'll just say the reference matches, Mike.
Right.
It's a good reference.
Thank you.
I said before we start chanting the N-word.
Jesus.
Oh, God. Oh, no. What comes next? We can't play.
Hold on. So what you hear there, the reason it cuts off there is because this audience is like, Jesus, Aaron, no, we're not going to do that. Now,
Oh,
the
that's an
N-word
upset.
is said a few times. Thank God they don't chant it. But you do hear the crowd say the N-word because the boss is demanding it.
Well, you know how comedies feel out of crowd to what level they can go to? He was just feeling them out. Are we N-word level? No. Okay.
Come on, guys.
Let's keep a
Let's
homo.
hear the N-word. Now, anyways, let me get on the horn with this AM radio station and see if they're still interested in me.
This one's called Haters.
Oh, okay. Well, let's hear about the haters because Aaron, as you just heard, Aaron, remember, we're in the future. In a couple days, Aaron is going to be very offended by that. Let's hear his immediate reaction, like a day after the show.
Better than Hackamania. Yeah, we didn't have to borrow any USB cords from our audience, which was
Nobody
nice.
got bed bugs that I know of.
Nobody got
Miss
bed bugs,
Byrne,
and we didn't
guys.
have to borrow.
Just a nice race rally. Yeah, but we had all race rally with all our USB cords, guys.
Hey,
Congratulations.
listen. At the Klan rally I was at, no one got bed bugs.
Best Wi-Fi at the Klan rallies, I gotta say.
Borrow USB cords from our audience, so that was nice. But I decided to check in a little this morning with some of the internet crowd just to see what was up. And I'll be honest, maybe I just don't look in the right places. Not much.
Oh, damn.
No.
Oh, that's too bad. You couldn't find anyone shitting on this event. But Aaron, you yourself hated it. You had such a terrible time and said, we'll never do that again. You guys misbehaved. So don't you think people should have been mocking it? I'm very confused by this message. And thank you, by the way, we should have said this before, but thank you to, I believe the YouTube channel is Real Media Player for making this so I didn't have to sift through all of Steel Toe's horse shit. Because I'm sure he gave himself a 4-hour blowjob over this event.
Oh yes, absolutely. He looks for everything in the wrong places. Wives, complainers, haters.
Nothing going on. I think all these podcasters and stuff, I think they're on the downslide. I think they're on their way out.
You know what? That must be it. That must be it. Patrick Melton and Carl must be really struggling because people weren't shitting on your event enough. Aaron, who hated the event? Because I thought it was you. I remember a few seconds ago you saying that. I guess it took you a couple days to ruminate on the situation.
Yeah, if this was a trial, this is what they call smoking gun evidence.
Out. I think it's been like a year or two now of just doing the same thing over and over and over.
And even the haters are kind of like, all right, yeah, we got it.
It just kind of seems like they're fading away, or it's just like the same gimmick over and over.
Well, Aaron, you're in luck. People picked up on that.
He's like, well, I got through this one, wiping my brow. Phew. I'm going to brag a little. I'm going to do a little strut.
Yesterday, I watched a video that was titled, I'm paraphrasing, but it was something to the effect of Aaron breaks his restraining order by talking about his ex-wife, Ashley LaRue, for over an hour.
Oh, no.
I don't think people are lightening up, Aaron.
No.
That's an odd play to be like, you know what? It seems like these people can't find anything to goof on me about. They're fine, Aaron. They're well fed.
I think it's, when you fart and you kind of get used to your own smell. He's used to the current level of trolling. Even though it's a high level of trolling, he's like, no, I don't see anything here. But it is a very high level of trolling.
Do you think that when he said this, I don't know the exact timeline.
He's troll blind.
when he said this, was he not aware that Patrick Melton had the video?
I don't know. I mean, he has to be aware. He has to be aware that was coming out. So this is just total incorrect calculations on his part how this would play out.
And by the way, like, I watched the whole thing. Patrick Melton was not like clutching his pearls and like, can you believe he said homo? His point was basically like, this guy wants a job in regular radio. He's chanting homo.
Yeah.
The fuck is he doing?
Pretty logical argument here.
Yeah. And that, I mean, that's just a fact. No matter what your stance on free speech or censorship is, like, that's just a fact. Modern radio is going to be like, what the fuck are you doing? It's weird to try and get a job there. That's actually defending you, Aaron, saying what you're doing on your YouTube channel doesn't fit regular radio.
I just got what he's doing here, though. So this right here is him practicing for the Christian people. right? He's saying, "Oh, listen, yeah, I've been trolled. Oh no, you've seen I've been trolled. Yeah, but it's going away. It's fading. Like it's all the same troll now." It's 'cause
interesting.
He has to have an answer for that, you know?
Yeah, he's like, oh, they're sick and tired of that. That game is over.
Yeah. How many times can they show my ex-wife's children's book? I mean, that's just played out at this point.
That's true. Because what I've observed about radio is I think more than any other business, not just in entertainment, maybe any business globally, radio is petrified of controversy. I don't know why that is. I don't know when that changed or how that happened. But radio companies do not want people trolling them and voicing complaints. That's the thing they are most afraid of because they are desperate to hang on to whatever advertisers they have left. And a lot of advertising they still have are mom and pop places. So they're petrified of bad press, which is exactly what Aaron would bring to them.
Yeah, but now he has a video apologizing and a video saying, "Hey, look, the trolls are backing off. Look, I'm viable now. I'm viable."
Right. No, that's a good point. Yeah, it is all strategy.
This one's called language.
Well, certainly he's going to condemn the language used. If nothing else, after the video we heard from the future, Aaron will say, "Hey, listen, all kidding aside, I had a great time. It was amazing. Appreciate you fans. But jokes aside, the chants were over the line. That was too much." Certainly he's going to at least condemn them for that, because you heard how angry he was. "Ooh, I'll never do a live show again, you sons of bitches."
Jew yelling that, you out of your fucking mind. I was saying they were saying it. Jedi mind trick, how does this fit into your big plans? Oh, is it, you know what that is? That's people who are like, oh, they had a great time and the show went really well and it was super full and they had fun. So now you, like I said, you kind of have to be a pearl clutcher if you want to criticize.
Hold on. No. Aaron, sure, maybe some people are clutching their pearls. You were one of them, right? Remember? You're offended by this. Oh, I wish Aaron in the future could have warned him. Aaron, you're supposed to be offended by this. Obviously, someone got to him and was like, "Were you trying to start an N-word chant?" Because you hear him at the beginning of that clip where he's reading some super chat and he's like, "You were chanting the..." No, not me. I wasn't chanting it. It was them. Which, as we heard, it would be the equivalent of me going, hey, KC, I bet you won't punch that guy in the face. And you're like, "Oh, yeah." And then people are like, "Mike, you provoked Casey." And I'm like, "Hey, you saw him, man. He did it." Sure, did I say he was too big a pussy to do it? But that doesn't mean I'm involved in this in any way.
No, just technically back the fight. That's all.
Yeah, I was the Don King of this interaction.
Is anything? And I'm just letting you know, for like big bad free speech podcasting and like edgy podcasting and shit like that, not a good look for you to go, "But the language, you guys, the language."
Aaron, oh man, I feel like Doc Brown. Aaron, wait! In the future, you're going to condemn them for language.
Stop what you're doing.
You're going to look very silly, Aaron. People will be able to clip this.
No amount of gigawatts will save this, Aaron.
Aaron, it won't be erased from the internet. They're going to celebrate your downfall. Please.
I come from the future where you've been canceled, Aaron. Please, stop what you're doing.
Doc Brown, asshole. He's like, "Hey, aren't you guys... You guys are pearl clutching. Oh, you're getting upset about language? Flash forward 2 days, and he's like, I mean, guys, the language you used." He literally says, "I'll never do a live event again because of the language you used." And here we hear him 2 days earlier like, oh, I'm sorry. Little bitch says what? Little gay pussy says what? You were offended by the language?
It's rubber banding like I've never seen before, but I do think we got to introduce this Doc Brown or this Doc character into every element of the universe. Quick, starting John, pull those pillows and couch back in. They're gonna use it in a month.
John, get a tissue. They're gonna have a field day with this.
John, hang up the phone with Kate Meany. She's a lying whore. He just shows up at random times to tell you things that you're gonna fuck up. Amazing, Mike.
It's 2 days later. He's like, "Guys, the language was over the line."
Quick money.
No offense. And I know you're not going to take this advice from me, even though I'm right, because you just don't, because some of you don't like me. You come off as kind of a bitch.
Oh.
Hey, Take it or leave it. I'll leave it up to you. But because I said it,
hating me not help you.
right, don't let your hatred of me blind you from the fact that you're being kind of a queer.
And then, unfortunately, Aaron gunned the DeLorean to 88 and saw what the future held. Oh, no! I might lose everything!
And you don't see it, Mike, because, you know, the vision thing. But he does this thing where he puts his hand over his mouth and like, whispers queer. I just want to take that and then go, oh, no. The juxtaposition is
Aaron's
fucking
looking at a
amazing.
picture, and the super chats are fading away.
Yes. Hey, Ma and Pa Bible Shop TV station. When you whisper queer, it's still queer. Oh, goddamn that guy.
Oh, poor Aaron. If only he had the foresight.
Quick, Aaron. Into the
Was
car.
Was that it from Steel Toe?
That's all from Steel Toe, people.
It's crazy to watch. It's, you know what? We used to say this about Mike Franz. Are you familiar with Mike Francesa?
I am. Mike and the Mad Dog.
Mike and the Mad Dog. The Pope, one of the greats.
Yes.
Francesa would say these, like, people would call him out for things he said, and he'd be like, "That never happened. I never. I didn't fall asleep. I didn't spill my Diet Coke. You're crazy. Never happened."
That's probably what made the other guy the Mad Dog.
People used to always say, "Is Francesa unaware that the internet exists?" Which at that time was actually a legitimate question, because Francesa is a guy that's not that he doesn't know it exists, but Francesa is a guy that's out of touch. He was used to being on radio. He might have thought that legitimately he could just say something and the audience would think it was true. Like the old Stern model, basically, where you can't necessarily call him out for things that happened because it's just into the ether. It's gone forever now. And Francesa never really adjusted to the internet in that way. Aaron, his show is on the internet. And it seems like he doesn't realize that people can just clip the hypocrisy that exposed him from 2 days ago.
Yes,
I don't understand that method. John's the same way. A lot of these guys, it all stems from an inability to understand the internet.
Well, John's mace stems from like a overuse of whippets and just a long-term memory that's gone. I can't, and maybe the Steel Toe has just used too much hair dye, and it's. Have we discovered something? Stop touching your head, people.
Seeped into his brain. You think?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. What else? Oh, we have some super chats.
What?
They are not many. They're listening.
Good.
To us. Yes.
I specifically said none.
Yeah,
well, let's see what these savages are saying.
Mike, we're closer to none than we were the
Good.
number we had last time.
That's exactly how I hoped this turned out.
Yes.
I'm glad you all listened to me so well.
Pulper80 gave 2 gifted memberships, 2 separate ones. So thank you so much.
All right. That's all right.
Hey, DJ Electra Fry. There you are. And DJ Electra Fry, go ahead.
Okay, Whittle Watkins, $4.99 super chat. I tried to give Blind Mike the exclusive to the audio, but he didn't want it.
Oh, Blind Mike, you wouldn't have taken that racist audio? We would have loved that over here.
Is that true? Did I say I didn't want it?
No, well, he said he's paid $4.99, Mike. Got to be true.
It does. I'm not saying he's lying. I'm trying to remember that interaction. But maybe because I was away at the time. I don't remember. But
no, that's it. He did a lot of traveling, people. You know, when you travel, it's a whole other word. Another gifted membership by Paul.
Well, here's the other thing. I didn't think we'd be talking about Steel Toe. Like, I probably wouldn't have talked about that a lot. Oh, you know what? If I did, here's why. Here's my logic. Coming up with this on the fly. I'm guessing my logic was, I'm gone this week, so by next week it'll be old news. But then what intrigued me is the clip you sent of him going, guys, this is too much.
Yes, we hypocrisy policed the hell out of him on that one.
Yes, another arrest for the hypocrisy police.
Yes. Thank you, DJ Electrify. We'll see you in a little bit.
Thank you, Electra.
No, Electrify. We'll see you right now.
Oh.
Yeah, we had one that snuck in here.
Damn it.
All right, Dang Lizard for €2. So Mike says no super chats yet.
You son of a bitch, Dang Lizard. Well, it's your fault. Stop sending them. As Stuttering John has taught us, I'm legally obligated to read them.
Thank you, DJ Electra. All right, Blind Mike, where on your carnival of Sunday mornings would you like to go next?
Should we go to Mr. Joe Matarese?
I mean, it's always Joe time in my book. You want to go with the viral video first?
Let's watch the viral video. We won't watch the whole thing. I think we'll just it's very long.
Yes.
But good for Joe Matarese. We'll get the flavor of what's happening here. Matarese has gone viral. The last I checked, this video had 300 and something thousand views on it. Very
Yeah, that's-
exciting for old Joe. If only he could have gotten that for his special.
Yeah, and I'm sure, in Joe's way, he's handling it marvelously.
Well,
He's,
so here's the
he's
thing.
rational.
You might remember I tweeted out a video of Mark Normand that got 21 million views. That's a lot of views.
That is a lot of views.
I
didn't know that. God damn.
That's a tremendous amount of views. And I'll tell you, I will list the ways in which my life changed.
Oh, no.
For one day, I had more notifications than usual on Twitter. That's pretty cool, huh?
You didn't get any groupies from that?
No. Sadly, my dick went unsucked when I would walk around out in public. I've never understood these guys. Opie's been like this forever, where like they want to go viral. They need a viral video. Matarese is like this too. I just want to go viral. The fuck does it get you? You went viral once? No one's thinking about you, Joe. Now, here's what you want. Matt Rife goes viral daily. That's what you want. Then you can make a career out of it. Having one video that gets a lot of views, it's like, it's kind of cool. Who gives a shit? At the end of the day. But Joe is really excited and wants to know how to parlay this. So let's see the video that went viral. It's very good quality. I'm sure Joe should be proud that this is the one that people picked up on.
False. It sounds terrible. But the in the beginning here it says, "Watch these two people slowly erupt," and it has like blurred these people out so you can't see them. But
we'll get to that. We'll get to Joe blurring the people out in his thought process behind it.
Oh God, of course this is him doing all this shit. All right, here we go.
And Latinos, great middle infielders.
Where's this going?
Yeah, and I know that joke's very factual. My son plays, my high school son plays travel baseball. His team sucks because there's all white kids on his team. You can't turn double plays.
Baseball in high school, I think that's usually fine.
Yeah.
Not basketball.
Where does he think is it a steel toe show? Come on, Joe.
Well, I mean, baseball is not the sport where you're like, all we have is white guys. It's like that could be an okay team. East Meadow was pretty damn good.
Yeah, like the story.
Shout out Nick Ahmed.
Isn't the story legendarily that black players, there's not enough in baseball? They can't get them to play baseball. Yeah. What are you talking about, Joe?
People bitched for years as if it was like Bud Selig's fault or something that there weren't enough black players in baseball.
Well, this is what the 93.7 gets you, Mike. If you were at 98, you might get this humor, but
Yeah, but all right, I'll go with you. Hey, Joe, that's crazy. Races are different, huh, Joe?
And Noah. Zachary's bobbling it up.
Babe Ruth. That's all I got to say. He's a white guy, right? Babe Ruth. The guy.
An inhaler. Noah doesn't even know what hand he throws with yet.
Such a bad setup.
You watch Manny and Carlos. That's gonna happen. That double play is getting done. Those guys are dancing in the outfield. They're like, come on, let's go.
Jesus.
Let's go.
Well, this is very edgy. I can see why a couple gets mad at this because Joe is very hip and says that Mexican outfielders might sing La Cucaracha together. It's very timely stuff, Joe.
A 16-year-old and an 11-year-old. High school's tough, man. High school's tough when you're.
You said it, brother. It's a terrible set. I'm stunned this went viral because I can't believe people got through this much.
No, but this is why I'd go see Joe Matarese. Just to have a brain
It's
fart
why
on
we
stage
will
and
in
just-
October, by the way. Is he still coming to Massachusetts? I think so.
I mean, this guy doesn't cancel gigs. He needs every one of them.
I could see him. If he found out we were going, he would cancel it.
Oh, no, he's just going to get Dat Fan to post security.
Yeah, I think he would cancel if he found out the gearheads were going.
Dat Fan, comic security guard. He kind of looks like a security guard.
You mad at someone?
Yeah.
What?
You're a Harper. Everybody is like, I don't know.
So some drunk lady is upset that he did racial humor. Annoying. Like, overall, I'm on Joe's side in this. These people are being annoying.
Right. This should be easy fucking pickings for a pro.
I can't believe this video went viral. If you told me a condensed version on TikTok, because like the algorithm loves crowd work and things that aren't supposed to happen at a comedy show, but this is the whole video that has 300,000 plus views on YouTube. It's a terrible version of this.
Yeah, and thanks, Joe, for just cranking the fucking volume. I mean, Jesus Christ. He doesn't like equalize it or anything. He's just all the bass at all the levels.
No! Like, we love blacks. We love everybody. And you were just like, that's why he wants me to leave. Because I opened my mouth.
They do pick up on the energy that Joe doesn't care for blacks. That's very astute of them.
Yeah, and he hasn't really said anything. He's just kind of letting them soliloquy. Aren't you supposed to take control? Take control of your show, Joe.
That's how the mind of Joe Matarese, like, sit back, let them hang themselves.
He's like, how can I make this viral? Oh, success. I'm a genius.
Well, honestly, it is smart of Joe. If he's like, how can I make this viral? For him to not talk probably is the best strategy.
Right, let them hang themselves and then come in with some, which I'm sure will be the most witty repartee. The best.
Joe's like, nothing I can say will go viral. So maybe if I just let this lady talk.
Joe has seen other successful comedians' shorts doing this. I've seen them,
right.
where they go out and purposely kind of poke at a crowd and they get the response, and that goes on Twitter or X or TikTok or whatever.
Where he wants to leave.
I'm leaving.
All right, go ahead.
I'm good. Yep. See ya.
Nice comeback, Joe. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Let's resell these seats.
So he's titling things that you're not seeing on the screen right now.
Yeah.
Here's one that says, watch him wobble out, to the guy who just left. But he blurs the entire screen so you can't watch him wobble out.
Nice burn. That's like if, if you and I right now were like, that DJ Electra's a real bitch. And then she came back on the screen like, hey, Electra, what's happening?
He had days to think about that. That's what he put in there. He had nothing at the time. He's like, God, I didn't really have anything at the time. Let me think about this. Watch him wobble.
I'm gonna roast their ass after the fact. I had literally nothing.
How do you have zero comic instincts?
I'm amazed that people clicked on this, though. Good for Joe.
What did I do?
What did I do?
Guess he's not a fan. I'm racist.
You're a racist. That's very funny. She just goes, you're a racist. That's the first funny thing that's been said so far. You know what? I've been critical of Matt Rife's crowd work. Because people are like, hey, well, even if they criticize Matt Rife, they're like, hey, he's good at crowd work. And I've always said, is he though? Because a lot of Matt Rife's clips are just like, hey, is that this is your boyfriend? What? That's your dad? What? And the crowd goes, oh, shit. And that's the whole clip. And I'm like, I don't understand it. That is, I mean, that Matt Rife is George Carlin compared to what you're seeing right now. Like, people are rolling on the floor for Matt Rife, whereas this is utter silence.
This is open mic at a fucking Schwab's meeting or something. This is...
I have, this clip has made me find a whole new respect for Matt Rife.
Racist. What was racist? Wow. See you guys.
Nice comeback, Joe. Way to get her.
Yeah, he doesn't know how to be funny.
Wow.
Yeah, Matt Rife is a superstar now.
Rife has quick comeback. You can judge how funny they actually are or whatever. Rife is speaking. You're aware he's alive, at least.
This just shows that Joe cannot talk to people, right? Because this is like an intrapersonal duel now. I have to duel with you one-on-one. I can't just sort of do hack comedy.
Yeah.
And he is incapable of having a conversation with any individual, because he's not talking about himself or his kids or, things that he can control.
Matt Rife, if nothing else, has a charisma and a charm to him. Joe is void of anything. He doesn't speak.
Matt Rife was probably just banging his way through bars and someone's like, you're kind of funny, you should get on stage. Because he had so much charisma, he was just doing crowd work to get puss,
Yeah, that's the thing is like, people like Joe would probably be critical of Matt Rife, and yet Joe can't do that. That's what's really amazing about it.
Not one joke yet.
I hope you get a good winter and the plows are working.
Nice, Joe. You nailed him for living in a cold weather area.
Out of here.
Unlike you, who lives in New Jersey. You really got their ass. Hope the plows are working.
I live in, the Garden of Eden in New Jersey.
It is real work. I know. You up. I didn't. It's all on video, sir. It's all on video. You're going to be huge on TikTok in about an hour and 20 minutes.
Oh, all right. People are on Joe's side.
All right, we got some more messaging from Joe here. He's back, and all his YouTube and Instagram, Facebook, and X and Threads. So he is just pimping during this whole thing.
You guys get the gist of it. It doesn't really get better. That's pretty much it. Should we move to Joe's live stream a couple days later?
Yeah, let me grab that up
Do
real
you
quick.
happen to have the title? How this was titled?
Let's see here. Do I?
It's fine if you don't. I'll go from memory. I believe the title of this live stream was something to the effect of, "I'm live and want to talk to you about my video, viral video that has 120,000 views."
Yes, and it ended with "Let's talk about it."
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. That was the grossest part. That's what I do remember.
Joe, and hey, credit to him. They got a couple 100,000 more views after he posted his live stream. But he doesn't know what to do. This is every roadblock in Joe's career. It's when he got America's Got Talent, when he opened for Sebastian Maniscalco, when the documentaries were made about him and Red Bars started going after him. Anytime he gets attention, he thinks, how do I milk this until I'm famous? Like, okay, that video went viral. Now, my suggestion would be make another one that goes viral, Joe. But Joe's idea is let's ruminate. Let's sit here all day and think about how this one video can now make me famous. And by the way, the live stream was terrible. He barely talks on it. It's like an hour and a half, but he doesn't say a fucking word. It's crazy. But we have some of the highlights here.
Yeah, he's Italian, Mike, but to me, he's sort of Indian because he uses the entire buffalo of joke. He's like, oh, don't let any of the joke go to waste.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Hey, you guys watched it once. Would you be willing to watch it again? What if I spent $25,000 making a documentary about my viral video?
We call it.
Is that
joke
something
jerky.
you guys might be interested in?
Yes. All right, here we go. This first one is called "Inside the Mind," and it's scary.
Oh, good. It's good. Hey, when a video goes viral, there's nothing more than I would like to peek behind the curtain and say, what went through this man's mind when he was posting that?
So I wanted to come on here and tell you a little bit about that video. I don't know if you guys have
lucky
seen
us.
it yet. Probably most of you have.
Joe, the world has seen it.
I was gonna say yes. It was
Joe.
the entire
It took America by storm. I imagine yes, the 12 people that are in your live stream have seen it.
Yeah, I saw it on CNN first. Where did you see it first?
Yeah.
People love heckler videos. It's me in Hartford, Connecticut, at a club that was
He's in
called City
Hartford?
Steam. I don't think it's there
Hold
anymore.
on. He's in Connecticut and he made the plow joke? He's like 40 minutes from home.
Wait, so you're
What the
saying
fuck was he talking about?
You're talking to a Californian. What are you saying? I don't understand. Are you saying they're close to each other? This is
They're tremendously close to each other.
It's like San Diego and LA and saying, "Oh, it's sunny down there, but not up here." It's the same thing. That's what you're saying.
it's insane.
Okay, that makes sense.
I think it went out of business in the last 6 months. That video is probably about 6 or 7 months ago. And the reason why I
Joe, why did you
blurred-
deprive us for 7 months of that greatness?
He's been sitting on gold, Jerry.
I wish. Imagine you just have the nuclear football in your possession and you do nothing with
it. He's fucking with Jessica Alba at like 22. No one's seen her.
I blurred the guy's face, and his wife's face in the video is that they told the club owner if that video showed up online anywhere that they would sue me. And I never knew if they could. But I'm old school. You know what I worry about more than getting sued? I worry more someone's gonna show up at my front door with a fucking gun in their hand. That's what I worry about.
Okay.
What?
Let's talk about the tape we just saw.
What?
I keep saying tape. I understand but you know what I mean. I've got stuttering John in the brain. I keep calling them tapes.
It's all tape to me. I'm way old.
But So we just saw Joe Matarese essentially says nothing. Posts a video where he's like, look at me limply respond to these hecklers. And it gets a bunch of views. And Joe says, I better blur that. Because listen, I'm not worried about them suing me. I know you're probably thinking, maybe they'll sue you, Joe, because you showed a video of people in a comedy club in public. I don't understand what legal ground they would have, really. But let's say they sued you for defamation. Joe's not worried about that. He says, hey, take everything I've got. Who gives a shit? What I'm worried about is these people showing up in my home and murdering me for the mistreatment I've given them. I'm worried about the greatest revenge at all, the ultimate revenge. Them taking my life for showing this video.
You got to show this to a psychiatrist because that's a leap that needs some medication behind it.
Joe's an amazing case study in a guy that has only failed and has such a grandiose idea of who he is.
Yeah, he definitely is a one of one.
So I blurred the guy's face and I blurred his wife's face.
Thank God. Thank
All right, next
God,
up,
Joe.
Legal advice with
Joe, you probably saved yourself not just millions of dollars, but maybe your life.
And also, they should be able to sue for that show. If you're going to be not sue because you got kicked out or be on camera, but I had to sit and listen to Joe Matarese. God,
how many fucking videos? You're a veteran of Who Are These Socials now.
Yes.
How many fucking videos do we play of people just in public being filmed on TikTok or YouTube or whatever?
I think it's every one of them, Mike.
I've never heard of a lawsuit.
No, because if there were lawsuits around, you know that one guy that chases the cops around, he'd be locked up. Like that guy would be locked up forever.
God, yeah. That guy went to jail and won his appeal. They freed him.
Yes. So yeah. So speaking of jail, this one's called Legal Advice with Joe Matarese.
Yeah. So Joe's very worried. He's like, "Hey, what am I gonna do, guys? What am I gonna do?" He's seeking a lawyer.
But go check out that live video that I posted.
This I've never
7
seen.
days
I've listened to a lot of podcasts. I follow a lot of comics on social media. I've never heard someone promote a video that's already gone viral. Like, I've never heard someone say, hey, you got to check out this video that has a bunch of views. You don't see Tony Hinchcliffe going around going, hey, guys, you got to watch the Trump-Biden episode of Kill Tony.
Right, you remember how Baba Booey had pre-promotion? This is post-promotion. After the thing already happened. It's like you send out a flyer for your birthday party after your party.
Guys, I've probably gotten every single view I possibly could. Certainly from the 12 people watching this live stream. But please go watch it again.
Oh, speaking of which, go watch the goal again, people. We're 100 away from 10,000 views. We can hit the goal.
Yeah, come on, guys. We need 10,000 views on there. It wasn't enough that you all donated.
You failed on the money. Let's get something right, people. Come on.
Ago, it's up to 128,000 views. And if you have any questions about that,
did you have a day where you were watching the 20 million view? Because my God, what did that feel like?
Oh my God. Well, I made the rounds. I went on Kirk's show and I went on WATP and I called up my buddy Royce on Daywave. And I said, guys, I need to get a few more views on this thing. It's up to 20 million. If I could please get a couple more views so someone could see Mark Norman to get pulled off stage.
video, like someone asked, why'd you blur the people in the front row? And I just explained it about 15 minutes ago.
Hey, assholes. Why are you answering the question then, Joe?
After you go and watch the viral video, I need you to go back 15 minutes. This is homework. So much homework with Joe.
Spoke to the owner when they left, saying if that shows up on social media that he was going to sue me. Does anybody know the rules? Are you allowed to video people?
Comedian for fucking 4 decades. Anyone know the rules of stand-up comedy?
Yeah, sorry, Joe. He's actually allowed to sue you now and take everything.
And then just post it without blurring them. And if you didn't blur them, could they sue you? Is there a lawsuit that can be done there? I feel like lots
absolutely. You're a criminal.
I wish you could see how he blurred him out too, Mike. It wasn't like, I'm just going to put the blur on the top of the head. He blurred out like half the whole screen. Like, if their hand is in, they could probably sue me, right? I don't know. I'm going to just blur that hand out right there.
Joe Matarese heckled by a ghost.
He was.
People are filming.
It does look like a ghost.
Joe's so afraid of a lawsuit. He's like, guys, these weren't people. These were paranormal beings.
Orbs.
That heckled me.
I got heckled by orbs.
Shit all the time.
I love when he touches his fucking. You can't see it, Mike. He takes his finger up like he's holding up the number 1, and then he pierces it to the top of his lip. I don't know if it's an Italian thing or he does it all the time. It's fucking awesome.
Well, we are, by the way, building towards. I don't know if it's the last clip. One of the most insane things I've ever heard Joe say. I can't tell if he's being sarcastic or not, but that is what we're working towards. But let's hear this.
This one's called Aimless.
Oh, so this is, by the way, I took a couple clips from like an hour and a half live stream. There's just no point to it. Like, here's the problem, Joe, and people have been telling you this for years. When you do something, have a point to it, focus in, and work hard at it. Don't just think that money is going to fall into your fucking lap.
All right, guys, what are we, 37 minutes in?
Big stogie, smoking a big old cigar here, man.
Yes.
It's pretty good. 37 minutes.
What's good about it? What is good about that? When do you ever say, like, the podcast was really good? I'll use the Kill Tony episode again. Hey, you got to watch this. It was great. Podcasting history. Does anyone respond to you, well, how long was it? Is that anyone's thought in content? Like, I guess for Oppenheimer or something, but still, it was a masterpiece, even though it was long. Joe, who cares if you're taking 37 minutes of their time? It was all boring. Why is that good that it was 37 minutes?
He knows something about broadcasting we don't, Mike. That's the only answer, and I'm waiting for him to tell us.
This is pretty good, guys. 37 minutes? That's how you know it's a good live stream. I can't even tell if he's saying that's long or short.
No, it's just the right amount of time. For what?
Yes.
Who knows?
The Goldilocks zone.
Here. Should we wrap it up?
He goes on for another hour.
Yeah, you're a good cigar guy, Jerry Lahaney.
Hey, Jerry Lahane.
Oh, Joe, you better watch out. You could get sued for that. Jerry, you might want to talk to your lawyer. You could sue him for that now. Joe just said your name.
Jerry's a very big chatter in these worlds, so that is.
Oh, is that right?
Yes. Jerry's
shout out
funny.
Jerry Lahaney.
Yeah.
You're right. They put them in plastic. You can't fucking smell it. It's in plastic. What do you got to buy the cigar that isn't in plastic? Is that what I did wrong?
What's the deal with these cigars?
See, if he would have ended at 37, we wouldn't have got this magic, Mike.
Why are they always in plastic? Nothing I love more than hearing Joe riff. They used to say that about Seinfeld, that he could like just look at a water bottle and make it funny, you know? And that's kind of what Joe's doing here. Hello?
I mean, the best Joe show is him in a psychiatrist chair. Like, that's the one we all want to see, right? Just that's the one we need.
This is most of what the live stream was, is just silence.
Well, no, but he's got a cigar. He's celebrating. He's walking around the city a king. I got 120,000, 200,000 views.
Yes.
I'm the kingmaker.
A king on his mighty live stream where he talks about the gig he's there for getting canceled. This live stream starts at a comedy club, and then the people tell him the gig got canceled. And he's like, oh, they didn't even tell me.
Guess I'll put this cigar away. He's smoking like he just won the NBA champion. He's smoking like a...
And what a mighty king he is.
Yay, Jaylen Brown.
All right, we're walking back to the comedy club. I'm going to go hang out with Joey Gay. Very funny comic. Great name for a comedian, Joey Gay.
Joe, stop right there. I don't even know if I'm ready to hear the kind of material you're going to do on that name. His last name is Gay. Say what?
Buckle up.
Insert the Imholt chance.
The G-forces are going to be too great on this one. Buckle up, everyone.
Joe,
Not
can I
gay.
tell you what I asked of Joe Matarese? Hold on.
Go ahead. It's all right.
I want to hear that again if you could.
Yeah, of course.
What I ask of Joe, I know that what anyone's instinct would be is to make your entire next hour of material about Joey Gay's name. But please, I think there's so much more brilliance to you than that. That don't limit yourself with talking about Joey Gay for the rest of your career and how hilarious that name is. Please, for the love of God.
Comic. Great name for a comedian, Joey Gay.
You bet it is.
Not gay.
You mean his last name is Gay, but he wasn't destined to suck cock? I don't believe that, Joe.
This was called strategy.
Okay, well, this is what he does with his audience. He strategizes with us. We get to be in on the planning of how to make Joe a star. Finally, after 35 years in the business, we're going to make this dumb dago a celebrity. By hook or by crook.
All right, guys. We've peaked. Talk to you soon. Go check out the video. Let's try to get it to, I don't know, maybe we can get it to 200,000
Oh, wouldn't that
by
change
next
everything?
week.
It's the 3 people in here. Go over there. Just
Well,
watch
that's the
it
thing is,
100,000
like,
times.
for Joe, whatever happened where it got in the algorithm, it squashed 200,000. It way surpassed. I don't even know what it's up to now, but the last I checked was like 330 or something like that. So, Joe, you did it. But I will say, when you're talking to 20 people on a live stream, that's probably not going to do, dare I say, bupkis for you for boosting those numbers. Even if all of those people, let's say 20, I might be being generous, but let's say 20 people in that live stream. Let's say they all send it to 10 friends. It is still going to be a very insignificant amount of people that you have added to the view party.
Okay, I'm convinced now he doesn't even know what viral means. He's like, people tell me I need a viral video. Now I got to promote it, right? Can I play this viral video again? Can I just keep playing it day after day? What do I do with this thing? He has no idea what it is.
I have to promote it.
I have to promote my viral video.
Give it another 7 days. Could it double? If it's got 138 views in
this Matarese math.
Will it double forever? Could this thing get 5 billion views eventually?
Now, hold on. By January, this should have 45 billion. It should be bigger than Baby Shark.
7 days. Could it get to 260 in another 7 days?
This guy needs major success because it would just his head would explode with real.
But he always. You might be newer to Matarese coverage. This is what he's done for 8 years.
Oh Jesus!
Where he's like, okay, guys, I'm at the bottom of the hill towards success. How do I keep going? How do I keep climbing? And then the audience fucks with him, and then he's like, oh, come on, I don't know about this, and then he runs and hides. Like, I'm amazed this video was still up when I sent it to you.
So then he takes it down and starts the whole process over again.
Yep, usually. Yeah.
He's an Etch-a-Sketch.
Yes. Joe Matarese, the Etch-a-Sketch of comedy.
Does this look like a purse? Okay, never mind. Let me shake that up. Does this look like a turtle? Okay, let me just.
That's a great description of him, actually. Yes.
Slow down.
So you don't need to watch long. You just see 5 seconds of it. You're like,
Yeah,
oh, you can nail him down.
Should be interesting. You peaked at 2002. You're right. I have no upper lip too. Did you notice that, right? I
Why
used
does
to
he
tell
turn to
girls.
these people for help and guidance? The comment he reads is you peaked in 2002 and you have no upper lip. And he's like, guys, how do I further my career?
Hey, I think he could be one of those reporters for the roving Rob Saul gang with a penetrating question like those or penetrating statements. What are you wearing? Do you notice my lip?
They're all part of the Jerry Lahaney or whatever the guy's name was, is part of the marketing team for Joe Matarese.
That's why he puts that fucking finger on the lip. He's feeling if it's still there. He does it all the time.
It's all underneath. It's underneath. It's there.
You can't see what he's doing. He's pushing his upper lip out with his tongue so you can see that he has a lip, Mike. It's there. It's underneath.
Oh, thank God.
Can
Thank
I
God
be
they haven't
blind?
made a fool of you, Joe. I'm glad that you proved you have lips.
Every once in a while, I wish I was you. Right now,
It's just it's underneath.
Glad they haven't embarrassed me.
It's all underneath. That's the key. You should just do this.
That's amazingly cringe. I love
Really
it.
got his finger on the pulse.
Again, you can't see. He's pursing his lips like a 90-year-old woman. It's fucking hilarious. All right, this next.
Imagine being at the point of your life where you're like, no, guys, I do actually have lips. Let me prove it to you.
No, look, it's underneath. Let me just push it out. There, you see it? You see it?
I have lips.
He goes, that's the key or something. Like, it's a key for life, guys. You have the lips underneath.
Fucking insane.
Find it yourself is what this next one is called.
Oh, yeah. So this is Joe's promoting this viral video. And then when someone says, hey, where can I find it? He's like, go fuck yourself.
Link, please. I can't put the link into the chat. It doesn't allow you. I don't think to put
Fuck you
links
guys
in.
for wanting to watch it. Sure. Did the title say this was the only purpose of me going live? Absolutely. But fuck you if you want to find it.
The Etch-a-Sketch is getting shaky. It's getting shaky. It's about to roll. Yeah, you don't need to find it.
Chat. Just go on my YouTube page. It's the last video I posted. How many videos do I have that have 128,000? I have a few that are in the millions, but it's been a while.
Joe, put your cock away.
Humble brag.
And then this is the latest new one that has 128.
So wait a second. That means he's gone through this experience before, but yet handling it like a rookie.
That's what I'm telling you. Yes.
What the fuck is going on?
And he does the exact same thing every time. It's
have
crazy.
millions.
It's Groundhog Day. It's nuts.
But it's Groundhog Day with like less. He's like, oh yeah, millions ahead, but this has 100,000. This will do it for me.
Yeah, diminishing returns for sure. But
It's probably the highest I've had in a few years. So just look that up.
It got me another 2 years with the wife. Maybe it's
look
just
what up. Joe Matarese, 100,000 views.
The wife's like, if you don't get a fucking viral video every 3 years, I'm divorcing you. And he's like, oh shit. It's the panic.
Just say it's the last video I posted, which it was, or the title of it. It's not that difficult. If you don't feel like posting the link, even though that was your sole purpose, was to get these 20 people to watch.
Joe Matarese, Hartford, Connecticut. Can't miss it. 128K views.
Can't miss it.
Oh, that was dripping with narcissism. This one's called High Hopes. Blind Mike.
Oh, Joe is reaching for the stars here. And this is where you start to see just the kid in Joe, where he's like, maybe I'll be really famous. Maybe I'll be playing at Madison Square Garden.
And he's had millions. That's the craziest part to me. All right.
Oh, guy he was ready to come out and shoot me in the face for video in his place.
Seems to always be on his mind, this being hunted down.
Yeah, Joe, no one's going to murder you. You seem like a fine enough guy. No one's going to kill you.
He's like Ray Liotta in a Goodfellas. Looking up, there's a helicopter above him.
He was coming outside. He was ready to fucking get pissed. Don't film my weed store.
This is all delusional, by the way. This is all just made up in his mind that some man, he was filming a weed store, which is, by the way, is a legal business. It's not a fucking speakeasy. Like, the guy is working under legal conditions. It would be promotion that you're filming his business.
Not film.
Yeah.
My fucking
to people who desperately need it at this point. Get me high to watch this shit.
weed store. That's why you need to, anyone who's doing a live stream while they're walking through New York City, you never know if something fucking crazy could just break out right now.
Now, here's
Someone
where you
could
hear him start to hope that dispensary owner went into a murderous rage. And he fantasizes. This is, right now, here's all you need to know about Joe Matarese. What he's about to describe to you is his greatest dream. This would be things going perfectly for old Joe.
And this is common in his refrain, right? Like this fantasizing about stuff. Okay.
Oh, yeah. No, maybe this will happen. And finally, all my dreams will come true.
Just run across the street with their pants off, with a fucking shotgun in his hand, just going
again with the goddamn.
It didn't.
guns
By the way,
in
this
guy.
didn't happen.
And he's describing what would be amazing if it happened right now because I'm in New York, right?
Joe's like, that's New York for
Hartford or
you.
whatever.
Here's what happened. Joe was outside of a dispensary and he was filming it for some reason and going, guys, isn't it crazy? Weed is legal. Isn't that fucking nuts? A guy comes out of his store and kind of gives him a funny look. And Joe says, boy, that's New York for you. A nude man running across the street with a gun in his hand.
I'd like to live in Joe's brain for just 5 seconds just to see what that looks like.
with their pants off, with a fucking shotgun in his hand, just going.
Well, the nude man is
Boom.
firing gunshots now. That's New York. That is so typical New York.
Yeah, I got to book a flight.
I got it, and then I get it on video. It becomes the greatest video ever. I retire.
Oh my God. This is sad. Oh my God.
Retire from what?
He's walking up to Andy Dufresne on the boat in this fantasy. He's like, I'm here, Andy.
Have you ever heard that? A man who filmed the nude murderer retires to the Bahamas.
This guy wants to be done with all of this, and he's just, get me there. Get me to the finish line.
But I don't even understand. Where's the money going to come from?
Who knows? He skipped that part of the story, Mike.
Let's say it gets 50 million views on YouTube. I know I've never had anything that popular, of course, but I know how YouTube's pay structure works. Be a nice chunk of change. I don't think we're talking retirement money. I don't think we're talking about putting 2 kids through school and not working the rest of your life.
He's talking like a Mr. Beast video. He's like, let's make this a Mr. Beast video and I can retire.
Yeah, Mr. Beast still works, Joe. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how long that goes. He's sort of under the thumb right now.
Yeah.
By the way, the deadest smile I've ever seen in my life, Mr. Beast. You can't see it, Mike, but if you could ever see a guy smile but just dead in his eyes, Mr. Beast.
I don't know much about him.
Yeah, there's no need. There's nothing there. It's just a vapidness.
You never know, right? Travis Bickle could be walking right towards me.
Oh. Dare to dream, Joe. Maybe the Robert De Niro's insane character from Taxi Driver is walking down the street. This is what Joe fantasizes about. This is how dark Joe's life has gotten. Is maybe a crazed murderer will run nude past me, and I'll be lucky enough to have my phone out.
Can I retire then? Will you guys let me fucking retire?
I gotta say, I watch a lot of like investing videos and stock market videos and stuff.
Same here.
And a lot of the videos that are on YouTube are bullshit. It's like, hey, 5 ways to retire off dividends. They tell you things you basically already know. It's kind of just horseshit. But I will say, even having called them horseshit, I've never seen anything as flimsy as, another thing you could do is stand in New York City, hope that a naked man with a shotgun runs by you, and just film it. And bang, enough money to retire.
All your dreams come true. Thank you, Naked Gun Man. Joe's Audience is what this one's called.
So this is, I think, what I was referring to about the craziest statement he's ever made.
Oh, I can't wait.
If you are a member of Joe's Audience, listen to this. This is what Joe thinks of you and thinks of himself. This is why Joe Matarese has never been successful, is because how he thinks of his audience and how he thinks of his own comedy. He is completely incapable of reading the room. Something they say I can't do, I would say Joe Matarese does it even worse.
Right. You have a sense of the room at least.
Yeah.
It's a good fit for me because people that can afford a Ritz-Carlton yacht cruise are usually highly intelligent, which is weird because I don't.
Okay, so what Joe's talking about here is Joe has basically become a boat act. A guy who owns a yacht hired him to do a night of comedy on this cruise. He's a cruise comic now, which, hey, to make a living, I say go for it, Joe. But Joe is talking about here how he's not a cruise comic. He's like, actually, this cruise, they specifically said they don't want cruise comics. That's why they came to me. They want a legend of stand-up. So they came to the great Joe Matarese, not some hack cruise ship comic. They came to Joey Mattresses.
We made our cruise comics walk the plank. Hey-o.
Yes.
It's a good fit for me because people that can afford a Ritz-Carlton yacht cruise are usually highly intelligent, which is weird because I don't have an intelligent act, but for some reason, really educated people like me a lot more than uneducated.
Oh, you know what, Rupert? We were wrong, and you were right. All of us, we make fun of Joe because we're idiots. And meanwhile, Neil deGrasse Tyson is at the front row of every Matarese show. That's where, the debates that the intellectuals have after a Joe Matarese show. Yeah, they just like to turn their brain off for a minute and not have to not be burdened by thought at Joe Matarese's show.
Literally like monkeys performing in front of them, the rich. So, Joe, you're the monkey.
And unfortunately, Trump didn't get into it with him, but I would like to know what Elon Musk thought when those hecklers walked out of Joe's show. Because it was just Musk and Bezos and Bill Gates, all these guys that were like, hey, would you pipe down? We're listening Joe talk about why Mexicans are better infielders than whites.
If anyone thinks I suck out there, it's probably because you don't have an education.
I thought he was being, I was like, oh, he's kidding. He's being ironic. He's being sarcastic. I'm misinterpreting this. When he said that, I was like, shame on me. I misread Joe. He's being silly. But now listen to how he gets right back into it. He believes this.
You're as dumb as me. You went to community college like I did. You won't like my comedy. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, it's crazy, man. We probably can't wrap our heads around it. That's the thing. It's too highbrow. You know what I remember thinking when I was watching Mullets and Mixtapes, Joe's latest special? I thought, boy, why now I'm just a doofus. But why couldn't even someone like me think that like the 80s were different than now? Like that's so true. And I wish I was just smart enough to get to that point.
Yeah.
This is why Joe has no respect for the people that are interested in him. And it's why he has never been and will never be successful. Because he thinks he's something he's not. He thinks he's for the elite. He is an act. Geniuses only, it says on the comedy club door when you walk in to see a Joe Matarese show.
So I would ask this because I don't know the whole history. Has he? So he beheaded his whole crowd here. So now these people are like, why do I like this guy? He's probably done that multiple times. If he would have kept every group of people that would have liked him the whole way, would he have an audience now? Is my question.
No, because he's never been successful.
Okay, so he's still.
Well, I mean, I take it back. Of course, Sanjay Gupta would still be at the Joe Matarese show. But you know what? That's a finite number. The elite, it's really only the highly intellectual. That's a pretty small number of people. So that's why Joe Matarese can't sell tickets. It's like those people are busy, you know? They're not losers with time on their hands like you and me.
I'm not a thinking man's comedian at all. But for some reason, I think because I talk slow, I think that's the reason. Educated people have a very good listening ability.
Listen to him make up reasons. Joe, you're not a comedian for anyone. You're unsuccessful. Can you imagine someone with no audience telling you what his audience is? It's psychotic.
His logic is sound, you know. My grandparents died, left me a $1 billion fortune. Makes me a better listener.
He's like, well, listen, Dr. Michio Kaku wants to turn his brain off for a minute, and that's why he listens to me. Joe, where are you getting these analytics? Who is telling you that geniuses listen to you? Where are you getting that from?
He seems to be making stuff up on, but they do, at his shows, they do have the empty seat that they keep in front, and it's the Stephen Hawking Memorial Chair. We keep that empty for all the geniuses that aren't here.
They focus. They're not like shit-faced and like sidetracked and barely listen to the performance. Like, they watch you. and they like intellectualize anything you say, and they're good crowds.
Right. Well, when
Unless they're-
Steve Jobs invented the iPhone, I remember at that. You remember the meeting, whatever it's called, that he had when he unveiled the iPhone, and he's like, a phone, internet, whatever the fuck he says. That thing he has where everyone gasps, and he unveils the iPhone for the first time. And the less famous quote he has from that is, I just want more people to find the comedy of Joe Matarese. So I want to put the internet in your pocket. So everyone could find this guy who is like, my wife's a real nag.
They're like douchey rich. Those aren't good. Like finance guys can be tough for comedy because they think that
It's only scientists that like Joe.
If you've mapped the human genome, you get me.
Listen, if you're thinking it's all rich people, if you're thinking it's Wall Street, if you're thinking it's Mark Cuban, hell no. It's only the 1% of 1% of geniuses.
Joe is his comedy is the definition of meritocracy. I mean, clearly it's a pyramid of the best of us and to the worst of us at the bottom.
Yeah.
they're hilarious. But like doctors, lawyers, those people are good audience members.
Yeah.
People in the
people that have tough jobs, have really stressful jobs, and come to a comedy club to laugh are pretty good at being audience members.
Doctors and lawyers, not you rubes that that have been the only support I've had for the last 8 years. Doctors and lawyers want to see Joe Matarese.
Oh, you changed a spark plug? Ew, gross.
No. Mechanics, you're out. Fucking servers, gone. Have you ever washed a dish for yourself? Then you can kick rocks, pal.
Yeah. If you haven't designed a brand new heart, I don't want to see your face in the audience.
Right.
the medical field. Not business guy.
Doctors, but definitely not nurses. Don't let those cheap bitches in.
Everyone in Joe's audience installed Neuralink in their own brains.
He's not even doing the jokes. He's thinking the jokes, and they're laughing. You just get on his thinking process, which is amazing.
You don't want to do comedies for guys that have their MBAs. You know.
What an oddly specific group to zero in on. Not the entire working class, out. Get the fuck out of here. Because the fucking blue collar comedy tour wasn't successful.
I don't know. He may be onto something. Ray DeVito has an MBA, and he's like the least funniest person I know. So.
Get blue collar people out. Now, white collar people, you're gone too. If you're in finance, you can suck a dick. Get out of here. I don't want you. I only want doctors and lawyers.
That's what I said. It's a meritocracy. He's creating a future world where you're what you do best is.
It's the rich. It's not just rich people. It's a specific version of rich people.
The
Those
working
are the
rich.
only people that can watch me.
He loves the working rich. If you just sit back and collect money off your stocks, you don't get the jokes, Mike.
No.
But if you're in there doing brain surgeries, you get it. You get it.
I love how Joe talks about the old days.
Yeah. Last one here, and it's always the last one in Joe's mind, I'm assuming, money.
Oh, good. Well, listen, Joe needs the money. That's the saddest part about all these guys is like how often they talk about money. Like we've joked about the super chat thing. It shouldn't be the focus of anyone's shows. Like money comes when you have good ideas and you put out a good product. The reason fucking Tony Hinchcliffe is killing it right now, or Joe Rogan got a massive Spotify deal, is not their shows weren't centered around making money, if you realize that. They did good shows, people noticed and paid them for those shows.
I could give even a closer example. The fact that you care so much about the shows made the Goal Show possible. If you at all,
if I was being serious, they wouldn't donate.
No, it wouldn't have worked at all.
Right.
It would have been worse, terrible. The only reason it works is because you are like, no, it's about the show. If money comes, great. If it doesn't, the show goes on.
Right.
And I've had to learn that through demonetization. Show goes on.
Yeah, that'd be fun, dude. Maybe they throw you money to go on these podcasts? That'd be interesting. How much they pay? Get back to me. Let me know their budget.
What Joe is talking about is he's trying to charge, I guess, me, Carl, I don't even know who else gives a fuck about Joe Matarese anymore. I think those are the only two, right?
I don't see him anywhere else.
Yeah. So I guess he's talking about me and Carl. He wants to charge us to have him on his show. Now, when I tell you, Joe, I don't give a fuck about paying you 1 red cent. I can't imagine paying you a dime to come on this show. Who would give a fuck? Now, would I want to talk to you? Sure. But would it bring me any value to have you on, like monetarily? No, it would just be, I'd be pissing my money away. Like, I had a good time with Tom Myers and Richard Ojeda, and they were playful and seemed like they were somewhat in on the joke a little bit, and you got a side of them that you were otherwise unaware existed, I think. And I would hope to do the same with Matarese if he came on here. Maybe we'd see a side of Joe that he doesn't show everyone all the time and should show people more. But that's a valueless thought to me. I have not considered spending $1 on this fuck. Now, I will, Joe, you might have me over a barrel, because you'll notice I went from a cent to a dime to $1. So maybe by the end of this discussion, you could get $5 out of me. But I can't imagine actually paying you anything significant to have you be like, yeah, no, I just don't get all the negativity. I get some of it, but I wish you guys talked about the positive. We've heard you do it before, Joe. It's a valueless thought to me. It's not worth money.
Yeah, those other two had value to bring to you, and I thought you could open them up in a way. There's no value.
I didn't pay them, though.
No, what I'm saying is, like, they had value coming on the show and showing other sides of themselves, you know? Like, this dude showed you everything. He showed you his asshole for a long time.
That's very true. And I would have Joe on for free.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, Joe. I'll pay you. I'll take it, Blind Mike. $1 a joke. I'll bring a tenner, Joe. Let's see if you can get to 10, because I doubt it, you motherfucker.
But that's the thing is, like, Joe would do the same thing he already did with porcelain and be like, nah, I get it. I get all the criticisms, and I'm using it to better myself. And then he would just do the same horseshit he's done for 8 years.
He'd be like, so Blind Mike, what do you think I should do? What should I do?
Yeah.
Yeah, like he would just ask us.
Well,
that's
where I actually respect Tom Myers, because I said, why don't you go on these shows? Why don't you go on Nick Mullen's show or do WATP or something? Like, why don't you kind of embrace it a little bit? And he's like, I have no interest in that. Those guys have been kind of shitty to me. I have no interest in embracing it. Joe would like lie and be like, yeah, that's a good idea. I never thought of it that way. And then just revert back to exactly what he was doing.
Yeah, he always comes back to one. He's the start of every scene in Hollywood. Back to one, and he just goes right back to one.
Yeah, Joe's a video game character where, like, when he dies and you just restart the game. No big deal. Just right back to where you were.
NPC comedian. That's what he is. Fuck the Italian shit. Go out there as the NPC comedian. It's just.
I'll start charging to go on the podcast that rip me new assholes.
Ooh. Don't tease us, Joe.
Does he not know that the tapes are free? Like, we could just watch tapes of him for free.
Yeah, no, I'd rather do this. Joe, you mean I could pay you $500? Really? Oh, that'd be so exciting.
Can we get your wife? I'd pay to talk to that
I
wife.
would much rather have her.
Putting it out there. Joe, we'll pay to talk to the skirt.
A lot of people watching over there?
Yeah, there's some. It's gone from 30 to 50 up and down.
30 to 50?
Oh, nice.
Yeah. But you keep them on long.
Yeah, I'll take 30 to 50 all day, any day.
Long enough, you get money from YouTube, right? Yeah, you can monetize. You monetize it. So the longer it goes.
Yeah, these morons will give you money, Mike.
So this video has 1,000 views on it. That I think equates to, if no one's super chatting you or anything, I think, like, as far as like watch page ads, that equates to $8, I think, something like that.
One of the funnier analytical tools that I look at is all those pennies that come in for the videos.
Joe's like, oh, you could be living large. Guy, let me tell you this. It's not quite nude man wielding a machine gun running down the street money, but it's pretty close.
There's not much money like that nude machine money, Mike. I got to tell you, that's the good money.
Which, by the way, if the guy was naked, you couldn't put it on YouTube.
No, he's just
that just dawned on me.
But that'll make it go viral, right? If I violate the terms of service, that'll be viral. Blind Mike, we have a few things I want to get to. It looks like we have a gifted membership here from Hulkamania. 5 gifted memberships.
Oh, thank you, buddy.
So much. That's awesome. And we got another one. So 6 total from
All right,
Hulkamania.
Thank you, guys. Welcome aboard. By the way, if you are a member, you get early access and bonus content. So consider becoming a member if you'd like to.
And DJ Electra Fry, they have followed our asking today, so we don't have a lot of super chats for you, but we do have one.
We should have none.
No, we got one.
Who's this rule breaker?
They are out in full steam ahead, $4.99. Thank you. I enjoyed the white. Can I say that?
It's a chat. We have to read it.
Okay. I enjoyed the white power theme of both Steel
DJ
Toe
Electra, how
Anniversary
dare you?
Oh,
and
Electra,
Dabblecon
Jesus.
What the fuck,
It
DJ
This is
was
not
Electra?
nice
Steel
to see
Toe. We're
them
not that
coming
edgy.
together.
Come on.
I'm so
Jesus
sorry, Blind Mike.
Christ.
I didn't know she was like this.
This is not compound media, for Christ's sake.
Okay. We'll try to not interrupt you this time, DJ. Like, go ahead one more time. I'm sorry.
I'm not saying it again. You
No,
say it.
please. just say it one more time. Go ahead.
I enjoyed the white power theme of
Whoa,
both Steel
God
Toe
damn it.
Anniversary
Jesus
and
Christ. All right, we
Dabblecon
can't.
too. It was nice
They're
to see
out in
them
full steam ahead. I'm
coming
sorry.
together.
I'm sorry we did that to you. Thank you for the $5. We are sorry that DJ Electra is such a race baiter. Ugh.
Yeah, save that edginess for Steel Toe. We're afraid to get that crazy here.
Yes. Now go back in the back and do not do racist things. Thank you. All right, Blind Mike, where are we going to next on this party of tards?
All right, let's play a little. We have some shorter clips. We talked about Kevin Brennan earlier. Should we talk about this Mark Normand clip?
Yes, it's a. I didn't know who they were talking about, but I assumed.
I think the only thing that leaves me wondering is I can't imagine a time where Kevin Brennan would have had Ian Lara on. I just don't know. No, that's nothing against Ian Lara. That's actually a pro Ian Lara comment. I can't imagine Kevin Brennan having Ian Lara on his podcast. But Ian Lara, a few weeks ago, I wanted to talk about this, but then we didn't do a show. So I'm getting to it now. I haven't heard anyone else cover this. So this might be news to you. Ian Lara was on We Might Be Drunk, and they talk about a New York comedian who does a certain type of show, and I can only think of one candidate for this. But I found Mark Normand's comments very interesting here, and I kind of wholeheartedly agree with him.
Talking me, and he hid whenever I'd be at the cell.
Oh.
He hid, yeah.
Like he ran?
He just knew I'd be, and I didn't give a shit. I was kind of like, "What's up, man?" I'd see him, and he'd be like, "Hey," and he'd be like awkward about it, but I was like, "I don't give a shit."
Well, that's the bigger man.
Yeah,
Good for you.
But he was shit talking me, and I was like,
Yeah.
"All right."
I'm that kind of person. I think that's like the New York too. Where I would be like, why'd you say that? Like,
I just knew he was unhinged. I knew he was like a crazy guy, so I was kind of like, "This is what he does."
Some
Any
people are like
ideas
that
so far as to who this might be?
Well, it's either Matarese or KB, one of the two.
It's very vague. I can't figure out who they're talking about.
You're like, this person is just unhinged. Where you're like,
Yes.
I'm not even. Yeah, some people. Are
It's not like anything I could say would have gotten through to him. Like, "Hey, you shouldn't have done that." It wouldn't have registered. So
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
like,
yeah,
I'll just
yeah.
be nice to him and
Yeah,
make
yeah.
him more uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because it did. It made him more uncomfortable.
Yeah, good. Let him squeamish,
Yeah.
be squeamish. But
Yeah.
there's one guy, I'm not going to say his name, but he's shit on everybody in America.
Say his name. We'll bleep it out.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
That sounded like 4 syllables.
That was a 4-syllable bleep, you think?
Yeah. Sorry, Dat fan, you're off the hook.
and
you're not gonna say his name. He'd like that.
That's
He'd
who
love
my
that.
story
I
was
know.
about.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
All right, well,
he'd love
bleep
that.
it.
Oh yeah.
The fact that they both were talking about the same guy, didn't know it.
They're thinking about the biggest asshole in comedy,
and they thought
and
the same
accidentally
guy.
stumbled upon the same name.
That's fucking.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
All right, well,
he'd love
bleep
that.
it.
Oh yeah.
But
I'll tell you a story about him too.
he shit on me on
The other guy's got a story too.
Yeah.
Even the little
Well,
guy.
that's what I'm saying. Is like, would Ian Lara have been on Kevin Brennan's podcast? I can't imagine why Ian Lara would go on there. But it seemed like Ian Lara just didn't know what the show was. So it is possible. But that's the only thing where I'm like, is this Kevin Brennan? I couldn't think of any other examples. I saw the post on the We Might Be Drunk subreddit, and they kind of came to the same conclusion I did. So
My guess is the story would have to be something like at a comedy club, not maybe like at a show, but like how.
right,
Kevin
it's yeah. It seems like maybe some of this stuff happened at the Comedy Cellar or something. But yeah, I like how Norman handles Kevin here.
pod, and somebody sent it to me, and I listened, and I couldn't have cared less. I was just like,
That's how I felt.
Yeah,
I
and
thought it was
see
kind
him,
of funny.
and it was not weird at all. I was like, I don't care, but because it's him. I'm like, he's like an ant. Like, you're nobody. Get out of here.
Well, we cut that part out because now he's gonna come for us.
Is
All
he
right.
still doing the thing?
Who the fuck?
I went on his podcast one time. I didn't know what it was. I thought it was just like you kind of shoot the shit.
Oh, shit.
And immediately as I sat down, he just started going off like personal attacks on like so many comics. And I was just like defending like literally people I didn't.
That has to be Kevin. That has to be
Right? Who else would it be? I couldn't think of anyone in New York because I was like, based on this conversation, you would think maybe Red Bar, but Red Bar's not a comic. He's certainly not in New York.
No, a commentator. He doesn't. There's only one person that we know that every comedian hates.
Yeah.
So,
I think it's got to be Kevin Brennan because they're talking about the podcast he's doing where he's shitting on people. Maybe Ty Rivera?
oh, it
But
could
he's
be
not a New
Tyler.
York
No,
guy.
no, he's LA, right? And the other thing is like the fact that they don't mention his name. That's equally fucking with Kevin Brennan, right?
Yes.
Like I love that.
That's all, and then they knew that's all Kevin Brennan would want for them to
Say
be
my
like,
name.
Oh,
Say
Kevin
my
was-
name.
Kevin was mean to us. I love the way they handle it where Norman's like, he's an ant. He's irrelevant. Who
Yeah.
gives a fuck? And this is why, because I've heard comics talk about Red Bar. And they're like, you know what? Like I am actually like afraid of that guy because he's actually funny. And they kind of talk about him with like almost this respect because he is funny. And they're like, I don't really love a lot of the shit he says, but like he is funny. And sometimes he points out shit where you're like, fuck, I do that. You hear when they're talking about Kevin Brennan, they're like, he's just a miserable cunt. And he doesn't have the same balls when you see him in person. He runs and hides like a pussy.
Yeah, and it's just easier to be nice to him because you know that freaks him out. That's
Right.
genius. That's genius by Norman right there.
Like personal attacks on like so many comics, and I was just like defending like literally people I didn't even know. I'm like, well, he's like a good person. He's like, I'm like, this is terrible.
Yeah, we should find that episode if we can of KB and that dude.
Yeah, if KB has ever had Ian Lara on, the problem is he deletes or puts on Patreon or whatever all his episodes. So
yeah,
I couldn't find anything. But if Kevin ever has had Ian Lara on, there's your evidence. There's your smoking gun, I guess. But I don't know if you leave in the comments if you guys have any other thoughts of who it could be. But it seems like there's only one conclusion, and that's Kevin Brennan.
No, yeah, it's got to be KB. FKB. All right. We got a few more tiny ones. You want to do
Well,
the Sam Morrel?
Speaking of the We Might Be Drunk Boys, should we play the Sam Morrel clip real quick?
Yeah, you want to set this up because, you know, he's
I
on
don't
there
know
with a
why.
lady.
I don't know why newscasters keep or morning news shows. I don't know why they keep having him on.
When will they learn, Mike?
Because they're like, oh, Sam Morril is here, and guys, get ready to laugh because a comedian is in town this week. Sam Morril. Sam, what's happening? And then Sam says offensive shit on purpose to get a reaction, and they're always like, oh my god. So I wonder if they have learned, and they're like, oh, well, we get a viral clip out of it. But most of them don't act like that. They kind of run scared from it, and they don't post it. Like this video is Sam posting it himself from some Baltimore morning news show. And this is how he promotes his gigs in Baltimore. Now, if you guys don't know, if you haven't heard comics talk about doing morning radio or morning television, they hate it. Like it's widely thought of as maybe the worst part of being a comedian is having to promote yourself on these horseshit shows that don't really move tickets. Like now podcasts do so much more to help ticket sales than like morning radio or morning TV ever did. So they all hate it, but Sam Morril has found a way to love it. Like he actually seems to enjoy doing it. He's big enough that he doesn't at all have to do this anymore. And he's playing like theaters. These are usually to promote comedy clubs. Sam's playing like much bigger venues, but yet he enjoys fucking with these people. So he still goes on and does it.
Who is this with us here?
This is Winnie. She's a rescue. I saved her.
Yeah.
She was getting sexually assaulted by a pack of chihuahuas.
Oh my.
In Los
Oh
Angeles.
my.
I stepped in.
Yeah.
And I crescent kicked 2 of them.
You did.
And we've been together ever since.
Is that going to be part of your routine? Like, what are we going to see this?
They never
evening,
know
this
how to
weekend?
handle comics.
Hitler.
So like
No.
it's the weirdest thing where they take everything they say seriously.
Literal, yeah.
But then they're like, is this going to be part of one of your wacky sketches tonight?
Genocide, Kamala, Trump, and poop.
Well, all things that are
Yeah.
on top of mind for folks
Yeah.
the moment they wake up and turn our newscast on.
I don't want to burn a bridge here. I know how you feel about bridges in Baltimore, but
Oh my!
For those of you that don't know, they had a bridge fall down. It was very dangerous.
the level of comfort that like the hosts need to have for these morning shows, like to keep the housewives and happy and stuff like that, he just pierces it with everything he says.
But he's going in and he's going in only to do that.
I know.
And then they act like they can't believe it. That's why I'm like, maybe they're doing it for ratings. But again, they're not the ones that posted this video. Sam did.
I think what Sam has become is like a relief valve for these anchors because they want to be real people and they have to be these starched fucking things. And then he comes on and he like farts and they're like, he just farted. I can say that. Like they get to have a little fun.
I think there's some of that, but I was listening to Morrel on Rogan recently and he's like, like some of these guys try to big time me and they get like they come into my dressing room or whatever before the green room and they're like, you going to try to do one of your things to me today? You're going to try and do one of your little jokes? And Sam's like, yeah, maybe. And they're like, yeah, not going to fly with me. And then Sam does it anyways.
Oh my goodness. All right, Sam, we're going to take it out of here.
They get so scared. There's no stiffer group of people than a certain segment of TV and radio people.
That's why he's really found something here. You find a sensitive group of people, then you go and shit on them. It's great.
That is a great niche. Normand was great at it as well, and I think has kind of stopped doing it. But it seems like Sam really enjoys it. So I hope these fucking rubes keep having him on because it's always funny.
Oh, they will. I mean, how many times can you have Charlie from the Snack Shack on to show you his new firework display?
Right. Yeah, they've got nothing else, so they might as well.
This is a national comedian. Get in here. I know you dog wienered us the last time, but you're good this time, right?
Yeah.
All right, so we got a few more things. We are at almost 3 hours, but we do have Matt Rife. We got the Nortons, Dat Fan, and of course, the Dog Fucker.
You want to skip those? We'll skip those and get to Rob Saul. How's that?
Dog Fucker time. It works for me. I can't wait to talk about the Dog Fucker.
Let's get to Rob Saul because, boy, is this guy abysmal. And I thought he's so bad on Stuttering John's show. Like he's so atrocious that when I see that he's on, I immediately turn it off. Like, that's how bad he is. He makes a show that I'm watching to shit on insufferable. Like that's a very impressive skill. You got to at least give him credit for that. So I said, what is Rob Saul up to on his own? I guess Stuttering John has retired.
Yeah, like he conveniently enough, the day before the Dabblecon.
Boy, was he afraid of those tapes.
My guess is, he's going to come back because honestly, there was nothing on those tapes that I don't think we've all heard or thought. Like,
No, I mean, I could see his family getting mad at some of it.
Well, that's rinse and repeat. I'm sure that they weren't. Well,
so here's my thing with the tapes is like I don't want to play them, and I think when I say that, I notice in the comments people think I'm getting like high and mighty. I say I try to live by the rule of like I wouldn't want that to happen to me. And if someone was secretly recording private conversations I was having and then being like, oh, look at that, look what Mike said, I'd be pretty fucking furious.
Right.
And I would know that like, oh, this is out of context. You don't understand what the vibe of what I thought the vibe of the conversation was. So I don't like that. I don't like judging John based on that. But that's not me casting aspersions. Boy, did I listen to them. I'm just telling you, it's like a mortal conflict I have where I'm like, I don't personally want to play them because I hate that it happens to me. But when they're out there, I am like, I'm intrigued by them,
Yep. He's like, when we get to heaven and we're going to be like, well, what did you do in life? Were you good? And yes. Well, this one guy, was it Stuttering John? They're like, no, you get a pass on that one. Like we all, and it is like morally, we all get a pass.
John's enough of the cunt to these people. Like when you think about what he's done, and I'm not even talking about like trying to get Shuley fired from Stern. He's offering money to people to dox Cardiff. Like they played a clip last night at Dabblecon. You forget about some of the things John did, where he's screaming like, Carl, I'm going to dox your family and we're going to call your mother at 2 a.m. Like he's screaming these things. Like John wants an army of people behind him to ruin these people's lives. Whereas that's not the goal of any of these other shows that he's talking about. So I don't feel like pity for John. Just when I hear the tapes, I do think like, oh, that would be like, I would hate that if that happened to me, that someone was recording a phone call.
Yeah, or someone that you cared about. Like you passed the empathy test, right? For a normal human. But for Stuttering John, he's a lizard man. It's okay.
But what I really feel bad about, what I never want to happen to me, is to have Rob Saul on my program. That's something we can all empathize with John over. Because Rob Saul, as I said, is podcasting poison.
If he appears, Mike, I quit. I quit if he appears on this.
He is just absolutely insufferable. He's terrible. He's valueless on a podcast, which made me think, what does he do when he's on his own? So that's what we're going to find out right now.
I've never loved you more than I love you right now. Here we go. Just a little music and a little dog fucking music, Mike. You know.
That's the mood.
How his show starts is the first one.
So this is just Rob. This is Rob getting the show underway. This is when you tune in. You say, well, like me. You say, what's the show about? What does he do on his own? This is, I guess, what it is.
Here's the magic, baby.
Oh my God, the super chats are coming in strong today. I gotta tell you, hello, I'm Julie Hackride. Oh, yeah. Ron Saul has been doing a shitty impression of me. Let's go ahead. Let's go right to the gun. Let's see what's going on. I'll tell you. Nobody likes this impression. I'll tell you. Oh, man. Let's see here.
An impression of a laugh is the word, because even the people that hate Shuley, you'd think would have to watch this, because there's plenty of people that don't like Shuley and would like a show covering him and mocking him the way Stuttering John is mocked. Those people exist. I see it on Reddit. But even they would look at this and say, like, okay, we got it. He laughs. Like, an impersonation of a laugh is the worst form of impersonation because it doesn't comment on anything. It's just like, oh, this guy laughs, and it's slightly more unusual than a normal laugh, I guess. But you're not commenting. You're not adding, like we said about Kevin Brennan. You're not adding anything to the conversation. You're just like, oh, yeah, I guess he does have kind of an annoying laugh. We got it, Rob. Move on. Talk about something else. Talk about his personality traits. Why does Shuley annoy you? It can't just be the laugh, because that actually means he's not that annoying a guy.
Yeah, and the real reasons why he's annoyed with Shuley is Shuley said no to coming on the network. So
Well, what's sad about all this, and this is why I say Rob Saul is a spineless jellyfish, because he worked with these guys before. And then they kicked him out, and he was like, actually, I hate them. It's like you saw him do with Anthony Cumia, where he was an Anthony Cumia fan and invited Anthony on the podcast, and Anthony said no. And then Stuttering John got mad that Rob invited Anthony on. And Rob goes on, and he goes, you know, John, I was actually thinking about it the last 24 hours. Now that I really put some thought behind it, I was a fan of Anthony's for a long time. But now, only in the last 24 hours have I thought about it, and he's actually untalented. That's what I realized today. Once you got mad at me, oddly, it's weird how it happened. It just clicked in. It was right after you got mad at me, and I invited him on my show. After that, I realized he's valueless and completely, he's not nearly as talented as you, John.
So I have what I call the Rob Saul test. And essentially, I dealt with this fucking idiot when I was doing Levyverse stuff and that. And so basically, if someone that was a great friend of yours, Mike, comes out and you guys are no longer friends and starts telling the world all your secrets, like that you told them as a friend, I don't look at the secrets that he told of you and look at you as a bad person. I don't. That's the test. I look at the person that betrayed the friend and their partner as the wrongdoer here. And so I call that
That's what Justin Trudell did this week. Bad guy.
Right. I don't know who that is, but so essentially, if you think, anyway, that's my point with this. It's a test to determine if you have a fucking ethical stance or a moral stance. Do you believe in man code or not? Do you believe in saying, hey, I partied with this guy. Now that I'm not friends with him, I'm going to tell everyone he's a cokehead. Like, what sort of fucking bullshit logic is that? Or, hey, they bought views. Even though that's not exactly what happened, but you have a little bit of information, so now let's sell all our friends out. I don't care what they did at all. I care that you did that to them. So
he seems like a weasel, but at least this is a good bit. Keep laughing for 40 minutes, Rob.
Listen to the Deuce Pair and listen to exactly.
Off, Rob, though. I can't stop hearing it.
I pointed that out.
This is where it's just a disaster. So this is a complete disaster. This is right after Rob does his laughing bit. He tries to play a clip, but it's chaos. No one knows what's happening.
It's a clip of him, Stuttering John, and Clay Dabbler being watched by the Rico Show, being watched by Vinny, being watched by him.
It's utter chaos. You can't figure out what's going on. And he doesn't set the clip up. It's just completely, he's laughing and then the clip starts.
No, he's in the clip, so that's all he cares about.
Right.
These people are very easy to figure out.
Oh, look at that. Bring it up, guy. I love to tell you.
I really don't understand that impression. Like, if people laugh on a comedy show, why is that bad?
I mean, it's a little anti-Semitic, I'd say. But I think
maybe he has an annoying laugh. Like, the impression is funny once. Rob does it. I would say 25 minutes of his 2-hour show are him laughing.
He gets to an hour and he is so out of material on anyone.
Isn't that crazy, guys? Isn't that crazy how he laughs?
He's so out of material when he starts his show. He's got nothing. Here's the thing. At Levyverse, Bob fired him because he brought nothing. He brought nothing to the show. There was no content. And so the entire show is about Bob. And Bob's like, well, if I can do that, I can do that just on my own show. Why do I need you?
Right.
He's just continuing that on his own show, just contentless.
And here's the problem with what Rob is doing is he has nothing he's interested in, it seems. I don't know anything about him, but I'm just basing that on what he talks about on his show. It seems like he has nothing that he's interested in, other than maybe Rob Saul.
Oh, yes.
Because
monetization, Mike. That's what he's interested in.
Like, this show, all the characters that we talk about here, I'm interested in all of them. Like, on Why You Laughing, I'm interested in the lives or the storylines or the specials or whatever that we cover. You have to be interested in things to talk about them. Rob Saul has nothing he's interested in. So he said, I'm just going to start a show where, because he keeps talking about getting monetized. He's like, guys, please subscribe so I can get monetized. Because what he wants his show to be, and it's hilarious, but because it's not this yet. So it's an even worse version of what he wants it to be. But his dream is that he can just turn on the camera and make money because people send him super chats. It's like, no, you have to do a show, and then if they like the show, maybe they'll support it monetarily. You can't just turn it on and be like, all right, time to go, pay up. Let's go.
Right. The best broadcasters and podcasters love what they do and bring that to you. You love comedy, you love stand-up comedy, and then you get this platform and you talk about the things that you like and you love. So it's authentic. People identify with that. If you look at the podcast, oh, this will create the thing I love, you're going to fail. Right. You need to have that thing that you love before you podcast.
Right.
Sorry, here we
go. What's going on with this?
Please tell us.
It's a complete disaster.
Jan.
Nothing's been cut out yet, by the way. This is how his show starts.
Right. And he says he has producers, plural, which is hilarious.
Send Dan the man the link. What the hell's going on with this?
Boy, he's really learned from the best, folks.
Yeah,
those hours with Stuttering John have paid off because his show is also an unlistenable disaster.
I got to say, that might have been the best moment of the tapes when we learned that Stuttering John's friend was also his drug supplier, the Kane guy. That was
I can say it was maybe the least shocking thing I heard on there.
I know, that's true.
All right, well, there you have it. Welcome, everybody, to the show. We're going to do the show. Welcome, everybody. Oh, my God. I know. I had you all fooled. You thought I was actually Shuley, didn't you? Nope,
no,
it's me,
no
Rob
one
Saul.
That.
And that's the entire show. Oh, God.
There's nothing. He's said nothing. How long of his podcast have we listened to already? He's said literally nothing.
And he's out. I'm out of ideas. I did the Shuley thing. I'm looking at my sheet. I got nothing.
Well, guys, I've given you nothing so far. Let's see what else is there.
Let's go to chat.
Kata Beta in here trolling. How about we got to put this up for the trollers? They want freebies. They want the freebies. They wait for us to be monetized. You guys want the freebies.
Mike, I've been accused of having a squeaky voice. I want you all to take that back right now. This is the squeakiest voice I've ever. It's like a mouse became human.
It's like, I don't even know what is he being cute? Is he being funny? What is this?
This is what you get at 2 a.m. at a bartender on a boat. He's a boat bartender, and this is what you get.
It's what I always say about Chris D'Elia, where it's like there's something inherently insane about doing a show by yourself, where it's like you just get caught in the if my mouth is making noise, that's content. It fills the dead air. I just have to fill the dead air, and then I'm doing a show. Like he's making baby sounds and gibberish. It's just utter nonsense. But he's like, I'm filling the air, and thus this is a show.
The Catalano rule of broadcasting. You're talking, it's a broadcast.
Sure.
Come on and take the freebies. I got the freebies. I got the freebies. Rob Saul's got the freebies.
It's good. Repeat it a few more times. We didn't get it.
So I told you he does. He's a bartender on a boat sometimes. Like in the same area where Joe Matarese does a boat comedy. Do you think at any given time these two are on the same boat, looked at each other across the room, and thought, "We've made it"? Rob,
would that be something?
That'd
That'd be a divine pair. Those two.
You need to get the group together. Fuck that concert, Joe Matarese concert. You need to get on a boat with Joe Matarese and Rob Saul, and then sink it.
I know you really thought I was the Deuce Buyer, didn't you?
Why do you keep saying that?
I thought I had you fooled.
Because that's the guy that fired me, and I hate him. That's why.
Why would we think you were Shuley? Because you were doing an impression of him?
Well, yeah, I guess. Good point.
I don't get it. When Rich Little was on Carson, were you like, how do you get Reagan on here?
Too many layers for you, Mike. It's too complicated for you. Too complicated for you. This is highbrow yacht humor.
Shuley's impression is damn good, Rob. Yeah, my impression of Shuley, his impression of me is not good. Mine is realistic. He goes, "My name is Rob Saul, and I do an impression of Shuley."
Well, I'm not going to judge. I dare not get into the waters of whose impression is better. I don't want any part of that battle. Is Shuley's impression of Rob better than Rob's impression of Shuley? That's dangerous territory, and I won't get into it. What I will say is I've heard Shuley's impression of Rob, and whether or not you think it's funny, he's making fun of Rob. He's mocking him. He's making jokes about Rob and his personality and his proclivity for dogs and things of that nature. Rob is just laughing.
Yes.
There's literally nothing to the impression. He's not commenting on what a hack Shuley is or how unfunny Shuley is. He literally laughs. He's like, can you believe this guy laughs when he hears a joke? He laughs, and it's kind of annoying. That's the whole bit. And yet he's so proud of this. He's like, guys, my impression. Who cares? Who gives a fuck whose impression is better?
I just think you're just not on the cutting edge of comedy, Mike. He's going to do a world tour where he just does impressions of famous celebrity laughs.
Impressionates. He's
3 hours, asshole. I started at 6 a.m. I got one word wrong. Fuck you. Also, it's a great word. Impressionate your people.
Yeah.
I added the ooh at the end. I never put that.
This is definitely an impressionate right here.
Wait, this is Rob Saul. This is Rob Saul's impression of Shuley's impression of Rob Saul.
Just as confusing as that picture 2 minutes ago on screen.
And it's still nonsense. It's still unlistenable.
Yeah, he said nothing funny. Either way, just a sound. Here's the sound that it makes.
Together.
All right, up to money.
Christ.
This is what this dude cares about. This is why we're watching this. This is why he's online. This is all.
This is the real disservice that John and Kevin Brennan have done.
Yes.
To the internet.
Or service. We're covering it. Thank you.
Because,
guys
hey, say what you want about John Melendez, and God knows people have. People are super chatting him. When he just lazily turns on his live stream and says, all right, now give me money. I'll read your insults. John is making money. Now, we can all argue all day. Is it as much as John says? Of course not. Is it a great living? I don't know the answer to that. But the fact of the matter is people are paying John, and it's enough for John to pay his bills. So mazel tov. The problem now is slime balls like Rob Saul see that, and they see Kevin Brennan and say, oh, I have haters. And maybe those 5 people will pay my bills, just like they do for John and Kevin. So let's see him give it a shot.
Well, Katabatic freebies are what I've been giving you all. Your hatred and venom, which, by the way, feeds me. I fucking love it. Yeah,
it seems like you really enjoy it, and they're making something out of it.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest tells I've ever seen right there.
Yeah.
You cried yourself to sleep.
Seem completely unbothered by all this, Rob.
That venom, and I give it to you for free, where most people you have to super chat it. But we're still on our way up to being monetized. It's happening.
I'll tell you, the greatest villains don't walk into a room and go, I'm a villain. Ooh, you should all be scared of me because I'm a really bad guy. No, that you just know by their actions. You don't have to constantly reassure us that I love all this. Oh, I feast off your hatred. I drink your tears because I am a villain. If you weren't aware, I, in fact, am a villain. You don't have to keep telling us, Rob. We got it. We got it. We don't believe you because you keep telling us, but we understand that that's the angle you're going for.
We see you on Stut Joe's show. We know that's the villain seat. We know that you're eventually going to be a villain. We know it.
Doing it, folks, but I'm drawing the line somewhere. So you got to Venmo up if your hate is so strong for me that you want me to say awful things that you want me to read, then you can
help me write a joke is what he's saying right there. I can't finish a sentence. Help me write a joke.
Venmo me. What is wrong with these people? The amount you will make off it's diminishing returns, folks. This is not. I can't imagine that that's a sustainable business model. Is just going, please pay me. You know, I don't know if you could go up to an actual panhandler and be like, if you could do it all over again, is this exactly how you'd play it? And they'd be like, absolutely.
Well, this is where Kevin Brennan's crowd has ruined these people because the pay pig thing, right? So you get like one pay pig in there, and you don't need to have an audience. You just do a whole show for your pay pig.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden, that pay pig disappears. And oh no, now what? But so he's looking for a pay pig with this shit. Just one.
This has all been for you, Dang Lizard, by the way. Every topic we've done here.
I'd be more than happy if you Venmo me to do it. But
good.
I'm done giving away the big free.
Good. As long as you're happy, Rob, then I'll send your money.
Well, listen, as content creators, we all go through these phases where like, oh, money, now we can get money. Now I ask for money more. Now we make money a joke. Then it gets gross. And it's like, you know what? Just do a fucking show.
I don't like saying Venmo me. If we go out to dinner with friends and I pick up the check and they say, hey, can I Venmo you for my portion of the meal? I say, no, please don't. Because that I want to make it seem like I have some dignity and I would like to pay for your meal. Rob is saying to strangers, please Venmo me for doing quite literally nothing. I have made sounds with my mouth, and that's not a cute way that I say talking. I'm literally saying Rob Saul has gone goo goo gaga into the mic and saying, now pay me, please.
This one's called How Is This a Show?
I just don't get it. Like, I don't know what his goal is. And you said this is a guy that wants to be in broadcasting?
Well, wants to.
What would he do on the radio?
He wants to be he wants to collect super chats from pay pigs.
What would he have possibly done in a radio format?
Laughed, made fun of.
I guess you have music.
Laughs.
Maybe he would have been a DJ. You'd have the music to cover.
He's got a lot of music gear. You don't see his background and setup. It really pisses me off. He's got a lot of. He's got an SSL Series J board, I think. Probably $300,000 board. Get out of here, Rob Saul. You don't know how to. You don't know what a channel is. You don't know what
music
SSL
is the only thing that could cover up the complete horse shit that Rob Saul is shoveling towards you.
He did mention he had a keyboard the other day, so I think you're onto something there.
Nice.
Thank you. Thank you.
Just eating. He's on a show alone and he's eating cookies.
This makes a very good show look like a goddamn Oscar winner. Like they spent 3 nights putting the show together over there compared to this guy.
If you were from another planet and someone showed you like, hey, here's just so you're caught up with society. Here's what podcasting is. And they show you Rob Saul first. And then they show you Craig Ironhead Coney and the Rubbed Out Gang. You're like, oh, so these guys run the industry, right?
Yeah, this is Chris Rock of the
a very good show is the pinnacle of broadcasting, clearly.
And the distance between them is far. That's crazy.
Verygoodshow.org, gang. Go support.
Yeah, go watch.
For chat, Rob. I'm doing my part right here. Yeah, you are. You're doing your part, bringing the hours up.
I mean, listen. I don't mind eating on mic as much as a lot of people do. It makes some people furious. I don't mind it that much, but have something.
Yeah.
Have something to do in the meantime. Maybe take a bite while you're playing a clip. I don't know. Have something prepared to make it somewhat listenable. Like, this is horrible.
Right. KB does the eating bit, right? So he'll eat on air, but I gotta say, KB does it at really funny times because he'll do it when like things are supposed to be really aggressive or everyone's like, and he'll just pull out a fucking sandwich and start eating. It's kind of funny because it's a comedic, a slowdown, right? There's like a pace to it. He's just eating because he's a fucking
Hear
beer
me.
cake.
Take into account my opinion of Kevin Brennan, and hear me on every level, Rob Saul. You will never, on your best day, be Kevin Brennan. Do you understand me? Hear that loud and clear. You will never be Kevin Brennan. All right? So stop what you're doing, Rob. You're humiliating yourself.
You're more akin to Kevin Brennan's herpy. His herpy store.
We're caught up. August 7th brought us up almost there. We got like 700, but that's not counting August 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th.
So the show is him talking about maybe one day he'll be monetized.
At that, the analytics he just went into there would bore an executive in the analytic department at YouTube. He's just
my God.
He's counting the days. Oh, I got 50. I did this with okay, I have done this. I did this when Wendy Pack, when we were trying to monetize her channel. Every day it'd be like, Wendy, we're 85 hours closer. So literally just a day-to-day thing he's doing right here.
But this is like if this show, like before I was monetized, the show was just a countdown clock. And I'm like, not there yet, guys. Come on. Keep watching. Let's go. What do you say? A few more hours till we're monetized. Come on. Let's go. Keep watching. What is that? No, they have to be watching something. That's why they watch, is for you to do something, Rob. You can't just literally count time.
Well, he did. He hired Jim Grundle, and we saw how that turned out.
We did see the magic of Jim Grundle.
So, yeah.
Those hours, we'll catch up. It's that's how far behind it is. And we haven't even gotten the hours in from the Vince the Lawyer show.
Oh, God. Well, then when your number comes in, Rob, then it's off to the races. Then you can read 9 super chats for $2 a piece.
This is sad.
Can you imagine? Like, look at the amount of super chats we've gotten today. Which don't. I told you guys not to super chat. You're doing a good job. If we centered the entire show around that, we'd have nothing to talk about.
No. Well, Mike, we did. Listen, let's calculate the amount of people in chat, and we can maybe calculate the amount of hours that we're currently getting right now.
Guys, 5-minute show today. Hurry up.
Pull out your calculators, people.
Get your super chats in.
What the fuck? And also, you can't see this, Blind Mike. There's an arrogant smugness about this dude.
I can hear it. I can hear it in his voice. Yeah.
He literally puts his nose up like he's a fucking highfalutin yacht rider. He's like one of these finance guys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, everything about him reads slime. Like he just seems like a tip. If you were casting a slime ball in a movie, it would be Rob Saul.
Well, yeah. I listen. He'll never have another friend again. That's for sure. No one will ever befriend the man that he just tells all his friends' secret. I mean, think about like the life you're going to have now, Rob. It's just sad.
Well, I mean, like that's just. I don't even need to say this, but clearly that's going to happen to Stuttering John.
Yes. Oh, yes.
You know, like that's just obvious.
But the thing about Stuttering John, he'll always be able to walk into a room full of new people and go, I'm Stuttering John, and some idiot in the room will be like, hey, I know Stuttering. So he's always able to rekindle that fire. This guy, it's no fire, nowhere, no kindling, nothing.
Where's the Saul Army's T-shirt? I want my cut. Yeah, we do have a Saul Army. Saul Army, which I came up with. I mean, well, Saul's Army actually was the idea for Saul Army, but the actual T-shirt.
You got to worry about the Saul Army turning in on each other. You could turn in your fellow Army guy in the Saul Army. Hey,
Rob,
he woke up at 7 a.m., not 6 a.m. Turn him in.
Rob, please tell us, how did you do it? How did you come up with the phrase Saul's Army? Now, I know that your last name is Saul. Is that where it started? Please give us a little insight. I've never heard a guy do a victory lap for something so mundane, and who gives a fuck?
Narc Army is better and more fitting. He has a Narc Army, just a
Guys,
army
tune
of
in
narcs.
next week. Tune in next week when I explain to you how I came up with the term gearhead. I'll give you a little hint. My last name is Geary. Now, that's all I'll tell you.
What?
That's all. I'm not going to give you any more until next week.
Docs.
I said I make it an army of dogs because I know people aren't going to just support me in the Saul Army. They want it to be a funny shirt.
Can you imagine?
But
What a low that must be. And I've been suicidal in my life. And I don't think I've ever felt the depth of what that feeling brings. What the ugly truth of what Rob Saul is saying there right now is, listen, I'm desperate for money. And I knew that if I sell merch, I might be able to get some of you people to pay me money. But I know none of you like me. So what I did is lowered myself to saying that I fuck dogs. So that you would possibly buy a t-shirt with my name on it.
That's exactly what he did, Mike.
What a profoundly sad statement. Like, that is, again, being suicidal doesn't begin to... If you're suicidal, you look at Rob with pity and say, well, I'm not that bad, sir. Do you need a hug? I'm not at the level... Well, I will denigrate myself by joking that I'm a dog fucker.
Okay, and put it online and let my mom see. Let everyone see.
Please pay me. I'm surprised he doesn't say that through tears, where he's like, please pay me for this dog fucking shirt because it's the only option I have.
This weekend, we learned that Stuttering John got Reputation Defender to kind of clear up his shit online. Oh my God, Rob Saul. That's who you should be calling, not a t-shirt company on this one.
You know what's weird about these guys too? And I genuinely don't fuck with Rob for being a bartender. Like, people make jokes about him being a bartender or whatever. I don't give a fuck that he's got a job. That's how he pays his bills. Good for him. What is odd though is that he will scream like, oh, these people make fun of me for being a bartender. I make a ton of money being a bartender. Well, then couldn't you get away with not selling the dog fucking shirt if you make so much money? You know?
That dog fucking shirt money, though, is sweet money, Mike. It
certainly is.
It cashes different. When you buy something with dog fucking money, it feels like you're doing something.
That's
the other money is just fake money.
That's right.
I'll let me put up the design for everybody real quick.
Everyone, take a look at me fucking all these dogs.
Give me a minute.
All right, guys, here it is. Here's the dog fucking shirt. Please buy it.
Mind-numbingly boring is next.
It's crazy. This is a 2-hour show, and I picked out the highlights.
Also, probably not next time we can't put Rob Saul at the end. It makes you fade. It's so bad. You're just
my eyes are watering. It's like I'm cutting an onion.
I forget. Somebody told me they were sending me these nonies.
Good. Have another cookie, Rob, in the middle of the show. Oh, good. Manja.
Why did Stuttering John call Brian Clotter guess that's gonna say a effing a-hole?
Whoa.
I don't know.
I don't know. Great commentary. On to the next candy bar.
Say something, Rob.
Clotter. It's come over here. He's helped out. He built this desk for the studio.
Oh.
Brian Clotter and I were friends.
He built a desk.
At least Coach HP was interviewing the guy who built Joe Rogan's desk. Fucking Rob Saul is just talking about the guy that made his desk.
He built a desk. He put it together. Well, you can't put an IKEA desk together, Rob. What is wrong with you?
And
Brian came over to put together a desk.
We disagree. I mean, he is a Shuley fan, which is a red flag on anybody, but I like the guy.
Good. I'm glad you walked us through that.
He doesn't, as long as we can get along and he does stuff with the show, it's fine. You know, it's just like with politics.
Go back to eating the cookies, Rob.
Please. That mukbang is a much easier sound to listen to than this.
I'm friends with a lot of people who, although I'm like, wow, I don't understand why they support Biden or Kamala Harris. I really don't understand it. I'm still friends with them.
Wow. That's big.
Same thing with Shuley.
A guy likes the Uncle Rico show and you're friends with him. You are a fucking saint, Rob. Get to something. Talk about something.
You know,
stop telling us the background. I can't think of anything more boring than a guy building your table, other than the personality of the guy that built your table.
In fact, I think I could respect a person more that is brainwashed by Kamala and Joe Biden more than someone that thinks Shuley is funny.
Well, how about the guy you do a show with, dickhead?
It's because Joe Biden and Kamala didn't fire you for being a worthless piece of shit broadcaster.
Yeah, I have no respect for someone that that likes Joe Biden and would vote for Kamala Harris. Anyways, Stuttering John, you're really funny today. I like what you're doing.
That is an amazing point, Mike.
Yeah, I wanna fuck Rob Saul shirt for my Jack Russell.
Well, you can't do that now, Rob. You have lost the ability to sarcastically laugh at those jokes because you are putting out a Rob Saul fucks dogs shirt. So you have lost the ability to be like, oh, that's so funny. Like, you can't sarcastically be like, isn't that played out, guys? You're trying to profit off of it.
He's writing it down. That's my next shirt.
Love it.
All right, we got Brennan.
By the way, you're joking about him writing it down? That's literally what he does. He's like, oh,
Sure.
interesting. That's another joke about me fucking dogs. Maybe I'll make that a shirt.
Wait, what about if I fuck a cat? There we go. That's a whole new category.
So, maybe the dog fucking people will buy the cat fucking shirt as well.
I own a cat too, guys. I sometimes fuck it too. This one's called Kevin Brennan.
Okay.
Like, I'm home with my kids. You know, because he's not divorced. I mean, he count his lucky stars he's not divorced. I mean,
That's a great way to start. Rob Saul is in fact divorced. His wife left him for his cousin. Just fun fact.
Oh yeah, I think we get to that.
Okay.
he eventually will. I think his wife is one of those ones that are like, I'm going to stay with him for the kids' sake. So they have like a
For better or worse, loser.
This is a different form of what we were talking about earlier about fantasizing. It's like Rob Saul doesn't know any of this.
No.
He's just like, I bet his wife doesn't even love him. Meanwhile, like Rob Saul loved Kevin Brennan when Kevin was paying him.
Yeah, and then a naked man with a shotgun comes out of the room.
But then Kevin, like these people make me defend Kevin Brennan.
I
Kevin
know.
Brennan had the gall to be like, Rob Saul is boring. Can you imagine that? And now he's like, well, I bet his wife doesn't love him. Good one, Rob.
Yeah, equal. They're equal. Proportionate response, Mike.
family environment until, you know, they get to be adults and she'll be gone. I mean, I'm kidding. Deadbeat dads. They're not there like I am with my kids. Meanwhile, he's sitting online all day screaming at people and
Rob, hold on, buddy. What are you doing right now? Take a step back. Well, I can't believe I'm saying this for the second time in the show. Last time I said it about Kevin Brennan. Now I'm defending him with it. Rob, take a step back. What are you doing right now? Don't shame someone for talking on the internet and yelling at the chat when that's the entire premise of your show.
Yeah, he just doesn't get paid for it. That's his only complaint right here.
Right, yeah, that's where this is how much more of a loser Kevin Brennan is once in a while he adds a funny comment and people actually pay him.
And he takes a picture. It's weird.
hey kids, you want to meet your uncle Gustav and your uncle Leo Gunn? You want to meet
great impression.
You want to meet your uncle Broccoli? They pay your bills. They put food in your mouth with your mommy.
He's
Rob,
a full locale.
You're aspiring to that.
Yeah.
You're hoping that one day you have do you not see how much of a loser that makes you? To make fun of someone who's accomplishing the thing that you hope to one day achieve for that thing.
He's a bad god. I'd be a good god. He wants to be the same thing.
That's the thing is like, we get comments like when we talk about Chris D'Elia in particular, I noticed this. Comments from people that don't know the show that are like, oh, you're just you're a podcaster. You're trying to accomplish what Chris has. And I say, no. I would very much like to have the numbers that Chris has. Sure, I'm jealous of that if you want to say that. But I'm looking at what Chris does and I'm mocking that. Rob Saul is saying, I want to do all the things Kevin is doing, but because I have no material, I'm going to insult those things.
Yes. Give me some of your pay pigs, Kevin.
Yeah.
Daddy goes on and begs him for money. Daddy number 2, daddy number 3, daddy number 4.
It's exhausting.
Daddy number 5.
We got it.
They're all here. Oh.
That tone scientifically pulls every drop of liquid from a lady's lady parts.
That's tough. That's torturous to listen to.
Yeah, no, it's
Other men pay my.
And I've met bartenders that are funny. A lot of them are. Most of them are.
I've actually thought a couple times when I've heard Rob Saul mention that he's a bartender, I always think like, is he a normal guy? Like when you walk up to the bar and say, "Hey, get me an old fashioned," is he a normal guy or is he like this?
Hey, you want bitters in that?
Like, is he a fucking asshole everywhere he goes? I can't imagine.
No, my guess is that he keeps it for this little part of his life. Every other part of his life,
I
he's
guess
sort
that's
of
what I'm
like
saying.
meek.
It's amazing this guy deals with the public and keeps a normal job.
But he doesn't do it often. You can tell because he has nothing to go to, right? He has no back catalog of burns, nothing like, oh, your mama. He's it's all fresh. So
yes,
he's no
well, it's
ability.
a shame we don't get those Rob Saul your mama jokes.
The dozens with Rob Saul.
Yeah.
I'd watch that show.
My bills, but bartending's embarrassing. It's embarrassing, as Popeye would say.
It's very topical. Good reference.
Okay, I'm gonna say it, and you're gonna agree with me.
Hmm.
He's like a Michael Scott bartender.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, he's definitely angrier than Michael Scott.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
yes,
but
I see what you're saying. Yeah,
he tries to go for these jokes that no one on the planet would ever think were funny. It just reminds me of when Michael has everyone in his house and he shows them the TV for some reason. It's just.
You don't think the high rollers at the casino are like, oh, Rob, that is a great Popeye reference.
No, just on the yacht. Those are the yacht people. Those
Sure.
are that's yacht humor.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Kevin Brennan. Just a loser.
Nice. You really nailed him.
Oh.
You said his wife, who he's still with, doesn't love him. What a burn.
I saw his kids hug him, and that means he hates him.
Loser. Can't even send him money. Right there on Venmo, you can send me money.
Oh, good. I'm glad you got that in.
Show prep. Something this motherfucker's never heard of.
Jesus.
I used to watch Shuley, then I realized he kept interrupting the talent of Stuttering John.
That's sarcasm, Rob.
I think it's safe to say most of TSN viewers are indeed sheeple. Yes, they are.
All right, Rob, come on.
Anything.
Valuable airtime here.
Borgo ain't taking the jitney, T.O. Hank says. No one's talking bad about Borgo, I know. He's not taking the jitney. He's doing very well, and he's paying Kevin Brennan and his wife's bills.
What would he do if literally no one was in the chat? You know what I mean? Like I don't think it's a ton of people, but there are human beings that are typing in here. What would he do if it was literally 0 people and he had to come up with topics?
Nothing. He wouldn't broadcast. He's not here for that, Mike. He's not here to do broadcasts or topics.
He's
here to collect money from a pay pig. That's it.
Yeah, folks, you should ask yourself, if literally no one showed up to the live stream, how
Hackride
would
Studios.
I do a show?
Come over to Hackride Studios. 0 people there. We still do shows. That's right.
Well, you guys talk. You can find something to fill the fucking air with.
Yes, we've had to. We don't have anyone talking to us, so we've had
By the
to
way,
learn.
HackrideTheDemon.com. Go watch Unboxing Eric.
Yeah, tonight, 6 p.m.
What's
West,
tonight?
9 p.m. East. Yeah, busy day.
Oh, nice.
Busy day.
Go
over
watch
here.
it tonight. I'm sorry for taking so much of your time.
No, I love doing this show, man. And plus, fall's coming up. That means Krager's is, going to be back. And
We
so,
hope.
I get them. We hope. We can all hope. So I like to get these in while I can, because in 3 months, y'all forget about me.
Good for you, Borgo. Loving the show, Rob. Fuck the dabble dork nerds. I hear that. Brian Clauder, how are you, buddy?
Oh,
Hey, Brian, that's his desk maker. Mike, did you know that? That his desk maker is checking in.
I'm glad he's returned. This is painful.
And you cannot see what's going on with his face.
It's playing?
Yes, it's playing.
Say something, Rob. Speak.
What happened to Stevie Lou? What happened to Quadfather? I don't know. I guess they're doing their thing. I think.
Well, you know what, Rob? If you don't know, maybe don't fucking talk about it. If you don't have any fucking idea and you don't have anything to say about it, why bring it up?
Because it's words, Mike. He just needs words said.
Just talk about something you're interested in.
He's that South Carolina Miss Teen USA from like 20 years ago. Iraq and such.
Oh,
just
good.
needs words.
Something to talk about. Where's Stevie Lou? I can respond to this. I don't know.
Stevie Lou takes his shekels to go be screamed at by Kevin Brent.
Well, at least you got the classic burn in, Rob.
Hey,
Thank God.
I know one guy that used to take shekels to get burned by Kevin Brennan. You, Rob Saul.
Do you think if you moved around less, she'd still be with you and not your cousin? No, the marriage was going to shit. My cousin.
Yeah, so this is where he talks about his cousin. So anyone that's watching this, I imagine, probably knows. But if you don't, Rob Saul's wife left him for his cousin, and this is how Rob has coped with this. Now listen, if that happened to me again, would I be fucking furious? Would I hate these people forever? But this is the fantasy that Rob has created for his own world, so he doesn't stick a gun in his mouth.
Can't get any women, and she started getting fat. And I wasn't attracted
It's great.
to her anymore.
My cousin can't get any women except for my current wife.
My wife.
The woman I chose to spend the rest of my life with. That's a woman he got. Other than that, nothing.
The woman I paraded in front of our entire family and said that this will be the woman I'm with forever.
Yeah.
That one he took.
I walked into a family reunion with a wife and left without one.
But I still see her at the family reunions. Hey,
and that guy's the loser here.
Your cousin. No, the marriage was going to shit. My cousin can't get any women, and she started getting fat.
got one.
And I wasn't attracted to her anymore.
Listen how everyone is like, again, that's pretty shitty. Everyone involved is shitty here. But he's like, listen, the cousin can't get any women. Also, the woman I chose to marry, ugly.
Total fat
so there.
loser. Who would marry her and who would... yes, great call.
You know, my cousin who would go out to bars and beg for women. He would cry when I was fucking...
That's every man at every bar. But
my wife downstairs and say, oh, it should have been me that's married. And then...
How would you possibly know that?
When I...
God, that is gross.
Did you wake up in the morning and he goes, hey, Rob, I was just crying downstairs last night while you were fucking your wife. How's your day?
Well, if you think about it, he's going to remember every conversation that this man had about his wife after the fact that he stole his wife. So he's like, you know that time he asked about not being married in front of my wife? Were they planning this years ago?
This is what I always think of with these people. By these people, I mean like him, John, these hateable characters.
Homo. Oh, wait, we're not at the Aaron Nimble. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No. Say that for Steel Toe. But the thing about these people is like they could tell you a story where you want to sympathize with them, and they make themselves the bad guy. Like if you just told me this story, like, hey, I was married once, and my wife left me for my cousin. I invited my cousin to live with us, and he fucking my wife was cheating on me with the cousin the whole time. They were lying to my face. It was all happening right behind my back. And I would empathize. I would go, oh God, that sounds terrible, you poor thing. Yet Rob Saul has a way of presenting this story where you're like, ugh, fuck you. I'm glad this happened to you.
Yeah, it's the John thing. We're all happy that the woman got away from this monster,
right?
You know, no matter where she ended up.
When I was done being interested in her,
When I was done being interested in my wife.
Yeah, no, it sounds like it was your choice.
What a cope. That is a fucking cope of all copes right there.
Again, if you didn't do that horse shit, I would empathize with you, but you're making me hate you.
Yeah, and this is the same thing. Oh yeah, I didn't get fired by Bob Levy. I got sick. I got sick of them and what they did. You got fired. you making up stories after.
It's everyone else's fault.
And I moved in. She said, "Wow, this guy's such a loser. He likes fat chicks that are used up that have been with his cousin."
Yep, that's probably what they both said.
Solid defense right there, making you look just golden. Yeah. Golden boy after you come out smelling like roses out of that one, Rob.
It's really hard to walk out of that situation and tell people this story and be like, so I'm the cool guy, right? When you hear this story, I'm definitely the cool one.
I'm the Fonz in this story.
Sorry, that's not winning. That's a not winning. That's a not winning.
If you repeat it, hey, every time you repeat that, Rob, that's a good strategy. It kills a few seconds, and maybe another chat will come in.
Roastmaster, Rob Saul.
Well, this is, hey, guys, listen, I'm walking on dangerous ground here. I hope Rob doesn't come after me next, because I might be in for a real beating.
Rob is a broken record with insults. I sure am. I'm not as clever as Kevin Brennan saying the same thing over and over. Yeah.
Now, isn't that interesting? No one said anything about Kevin Brennan.
Nope.
No one said, hey, Kevin Brennan's way funnier than you, or like, you wish you were Kevin Brennan. They just said, you suck. And he's like, oh, so I'm not as funny as Kevin Brennan, you're saying. Nope. You're just obsessed with the guy. You're obsessed with Kevin and Shuley and these people who wouldn't let you into their club. You're mad at them. You're very bitter about it. And that's all that's on your mind. So this person made a standalone critique of you and said, you fucking suck, Rob Saul. And then he goes right into his Kevin Brennan impression.
Well, I don't know if it was standalone. I think the wife and the cousin both said that too. Hey-oh.
Well, sure.
For their super chats, they're losers.
That tone.
They're losers.
Oh, man. Can you see? I forget the name of the chatter. Would you mind searching his name in obituary to see what kind of life he lived before Rob eviscerated him?
Oh, I mean, if we rewind 10 seconds, he's going to complain about Kevin Brennan just repeating things. Losers, losers, losers.
Yeah, no. It's always good. The thing you hate about someone and mock, it's good to turn your show into that, Rob. That's a good strategy.
In the same sentence. Not even a period. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. You have to Venmo me to throw tomatoes at me.
Wow.
Rob Saul is hilarious. Thank you. All right.
Finally a joke. Finally a joke comes through.
Yeah. Try and piece some of the sarcasm, Rob.
What else do we have here? I got to watch more people to annoy me. Chad Zumach is going to get me to serve him. Oh, no. This sounds dangerous.
Damn. This Rob Saul guy suffers no fools. He's really tearing these people to shreds.
Let's see here.
Let's see here.
Those are his big burns. I know you are, but what am I?
All right, coming up next, stats. And we only got a minute and a half left of this, Mike, so just bear with us.
Well, this is very interesting because you said the analytics from earlier were boring.
Yes. Oh, my God, yes.
Well, buckle up.
Okay, God damn it. Hold on. Here we go.
Just got a message from YouTube Studio.
Oh, good. Read it on there.
Says, Rob Saul, congratulations. Here's what you got up to last week.
Okay, so what's happening here? You guys don't know this because I've hidden this from you. I wasn't ready for you guys to find out. I've been too scared to talk about it on air. YouTube Studio sends you a notification every week about your analytics. And it's pretty boring. And so I thought, I'm not going to burden my audience with having to hear about this every week. It seems like a completely dull, uninteresting aspect of the show that you guys don't need to know about.
But there's a quiz at the end of it, Mike.
But by God, if YouTube didn't strike while the iron was hot and know exactly when to send him this notification, because thank God Rob got it at a moment where he needed content. And he said, maybe I can read the entirety of YouTube's weekly analytics summary.
Oh, Jesus, that is the boringest thing that's ever been on YouTube right there.
Oh, 2,000 people tuned into you. Here's how people found you. 1, external, 2, YouTube home, and 3 other YouTube features.
Who is this for?
Here's what they
I look at those and I have no idea. I don't care about that shit.
watch.
Who are you doing
1
this for? Rob, if you were reading me my own numbers from my own channel, I wouldn't give a fuck. Who are you possibly doing this for?
24, which I guess was a Vince the Lawyer show. Another one was Rob Saul Reacts, and then the third one was Keanu.
Guys, look at that. You know what? Thanks to what Rob is reading right now, we know that if we scrolled through his most recently uploaded videos and live streams, the ones with the most views actually do have the most views on his channel. Isn't that interesting?
Jake Hudson wouldn't do this. I mean, like looking for content on the floor or anything. Sometimes Joey does a member stream, Joey Catalano, where he'll pick up a pen off the floor and he'll try to sell it for 50 cents. He has nothing. I got nothing. That's still 10 times more entertaining than reading a goddamn analytics summary.
I would much rather Jordan Belford selling me his pen off the floor than this horse shit. He literally has nothing. So this is like if I was just like fucking fan. There's a fan in the room, and I'm going to talk about it to you guys for a while. Let me read. You know what? Oh, I wish I could see so I could read every key on my laptop for you. ASDF.
Starts with a Q.
Thanks to Rob Saul. People just didn't watch. They reached out. 305 likes, 65 shares.
And again, if you guys don't have YouTube channels that send you analytics, this is just every week. This is not a unique experience. They send this every week to every creator.
Comments. Now it says, let's play a game.
See, there's a game, Mike. I told you it's exciting. There's always a
can
game.
I play? Let me play.
I always lose because I didn't pay attention because it's so boring.
Which video got you the most subscribers? I'm going to go with the Vince the Lawyer show.
Oh, damn, he took my answer. That's what I would have gone with.
22 people subscribed from this video last week. I was right.
Wow. Nice
Let's
job,
check
bro.
back next week. So we're getting there. We're getting monetized, folks.
Yay!
We can all rest assured.
I care so much about whether or not you get monetized, Rob. And here's the thing. Like with some shows, and this is true of, say, The Fighter and the Kid, where we could play a clip where I'm like, oh, who would possibly give a fuck? And you know what the answer is? Oddly, like thousands of people. Like people watch and listen to them. The only people watching Rob Saul are watching for the same purpose as I am. That's what's really insane about him being like, come on, gang, let's get us monetized. Like, no one's rooting for you, Rob. No one gives a fuck.
Ditto that whole statement that he said. No one gives a fuck about you. We all are watching for your failure. And once you get monetized, oh my God, to watch the demonetization happen. It's going to be so fun. We're all here for it.
He is, I want to say easily. That feels like maybe a stretch. My instinct is to say he's easily more unlikable than Stuttering John. Like, John, I'm getting entertainment out of.
John, you have context and history, so you can build a mythos around John that explains most of the behavior and in an entertainment way. This man has none of that and gives you none of that.
He's completely unlikable.
Right. And so what we're seeing here is like the multiplicity effect of John, right? The copy of a copy is worse, and then the copy of the copy of the copy is worse. We're just going to go down this rabbit hole until we get to some really bad things.
And then Jimmy Grindle is doing a lot.
I love that you said Jimmy Grindle. That's made my show. The fact that you know who this weirdo is now. He went after me last year for being too weird, and now this guy just pops his head up.
He went after you?
Yeah, he went after Hackride. He's like, I had
okay.
that guy.
He went after Hackride. Well, that I stand by. He went after my pal Casey Day. I'd have a problem.
Oh, damn this thing. Stud Joe. He's got to talk about Stud Joe. The final one, Mike.
I mean, this is, the writing is on the wall here. This is just a great clip for posterity.
Oh, yes. We all know what's coming down the pike.
Rob, real question. Do you ever get annoyed at how often Stuttering John ignores you? I know. Sometimes I do go on into like little rants, and then I look up and John is like doing something, and he's like, oh, he's done talking. And then he goes back to what he does. But no, it doesn't annoy me. I get it. Sometimes it's John's show, and maybe sometimes I should shut up and not ramble on and on.
Well, that'll be interesting to watch how that completely dissipates when he turns on John and talks about what an asshole he is.
Yeah, and in a very unentertaining way. This is gonna have the thud of all the other ones, of the quad, of the DG. It's just gonna be another thud. These guys get in there with no goddamn plan and don't know how to get out.
And I don't even know if that's the case for Rob Saul, because he hates Shuley. So I guess he's like, I'll go. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. I'll go on Stuttering John's show.
I agree with that, except how fast he turned on KB. Because KB was paying him to come on those shows, and then all of a sudden he just turned on him overnight.
Right.
Rob Saul has zero friends. Like he goes on these.
He seems like a real slime ball. And Rob, I'm an open-minded guy, so prove me wrong. But you seem like a real Weasley slime ball with no fucking backbone.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. No redemption.
That'll be interesting to watch over, however long Rob Saul does it, and we decide to take a look at him. But we'll see.
Right. Yep. And that was the end. Blind Mike, congratulations. We did almost a 4-hour banger here.
Oh my God. Would you do me a favor, Casey Day?
I'll try.
And when you send Craig this audio to post, would you let him know that even though he wasn't on the show, I and the listeners would still like the audio posted.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you
He has
have
a
title?
nasty habit of sometimes of saying like, "Oh, well, I wasn't on the show, so surely no one wants to hear it." And
Well-
I just want to let him know that's not the case this week.
Well, someone's got to drive those strippers home, Blind Mike, and he's got to do that. So, real quick, Blind Mike, you can find me at hackridethedemon.com. We got
Yes.
Unboxing Eric tonight. Make sure you check out for that, 9 p.m. Eastern, if you like
Yes.
Eric the actor. We're into the serious years. We just did all the pre-serious years. Now we're into the serious years.
Oh, nice.
The funny thing
And that's
about
really Eric the Midget's heyday.
It is. We're getting into the golden age, and he's been sort of calm, for these first 50 calls. The reason he gets so aggro is because of the Sirius. When Howard went over to Sirius, he didn't take Eric's calls anymore. And Eric just starts flipping out, and that's when we're going to start getting to the golden era. So,
okay, nice.
Yeah, check that out on hackride.thedemon.com and DJElectraFry.com also. And thank you, Blind Mike, for having us up here. We
That's
love.
right.
We have
one more super chat.
What? Even though I said not to?
No, we have
do.
to do this one. We got to do this one.
All right, fine.
This is DJ Electra, and I approve this super chat. The Blackcast, $4.99. Sorry to insult you with money, Mike, but the gearheads need to know to tune into Who Are These broadcasts at a special day and time, Monday,
real weasel.
2:30 p.m. Eastern Time on WATP YouTube channel.
That Christian Blatt has always been a scumbag. So ignore what he says. Don't listen to Who Are These Broadcasters Tuesday. What time did he say?
2:30 p.m.
Don't do
Eastern.
it.
Yes,
Was he at Dabblecon? I didn't see anything from him.
I don't think so. I think we would have seen some media come out, but he's a Cali guy. He's got a family. He's probably over here. Dabbleverse doesn't do West Coast stuff. They're afraid of us. I don't know why.
Gotcha.
They are scared.
But DJ Electrify, thank you so much. And Blind Mike, I'll back out of here so you can give your plugs and we can get out of here. Have a great day, everyone.
All right, blindmike.net. You guys know where to find us. Like I said, don't super chat, but you can subscribe for early access and bonus content, Patreon or YouTube, wherever you want to become a member. Check out Why You Laughing. Check out Who Are These Socials. Blindmike.net is where you can find the links for all that stuff. And let's get that. Oh, next week, keep an eye out. We may be pre-recording, which means it'll be on Patreon first. I'm not sure. I think I have to pre-record because I have yet another fucking wedding to go to. So we shall see. I don't know. It's very, very annoying. But we'll talk to you guys next week on the Blind Mike Project. Bye, everyone.
Blind Mike Geary!
I talk like this, it's silly. This is my punchline, it's a boy. I think it's really rad. I want to come. I'm going to smoke crack. Grooming is not technically illegal, right? Asking for a friend. Go to small towns to get a gummy blowjob. Oh, that dirty dog. My penis is regular. Shut up. What's on my mind? Porn? I'd be worried I was going to stare at her pussy all night.